Friday night, time for crafts and pure delight. Paper, scissors, let's get started. With vintage tape, we'll be wholehearted. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Glue sticks ready, let's make a plan. Planners in the office, supplies in hand. Honey half-season wins the arrows. Crafting magic like true heroes. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Doodads and gumballs, let's create a scene. Join the club where we live our dreams. So grab your scissors and come along. Together we'll craft and sing our song. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Slip into jammies, grab something to sip. Stickers and golden scissors, let's take a crafty trip. The playbook's open with listers, got a list. In this crafty paradise, our dreams coexist. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scraps your cards, help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty Show? Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scraps your cards, help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty Show? It's all for you. It's all for you.
Hello and welcome to the Late Night Crafty Club. Welcome, oh welcome. Welcome to the back of my little RV, my little craft space. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm so happy to see your little faces. Are you guys excited to see the original Late Night Crafty Club video? This was the original little video that we debuted about this time last year, because it came out, I think it came out in September of last year. So we were really excited to bring it back. So we're like, should we wait till like camp's over officially? Because it does have a little bit of that. It's very Scooby-Doo. That is the inspiration that we took to create it, was the Scooby-Doo theme, because I think all of us had a bit of that Scooby-Doo influence, us Gen Xers, and even if you're a boomer, you still you know exactly what Scooby-Doo is, and I'm sure you probably watched it or saw your kids watch it. So let me see here. What am I looking for? I think I'm looking for, oh, I'm looking for my chat room. Hello, welcome everybody. I'm so happy to see so many little faces. It is the last gathering of Camp Reset. Oh my gosh, parting is such sweet sorrow. However, it's a regular night on the Late Night Crafty Club. So the party just continues. About every 2 weeks, I do have a Late Night Crafty Club. So if you joined me for camp, and, you know, it was just one of those things you decided to jump back into the fun of camp because you're on my newsletter list. And then you were like, oh, the Late Night Crafty Club, Corey still does that? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So the next Late Night Crafty Club I'm actually going to do is next Friday. I'm going to have a weird schedule because I have to go out of town on October 4th. Mark and I are driving down to Northern California for my nephew's wedding. We don't get very many weddings in our family, so this is very exciting. So yes. So I have this like weird thing now where now I have to double up. And it's crucial that I get another Late Night Crafty Club because the clubhouse is about to have its big reveal, its big makeover. All new membership, all new focus, all new. So if you haven't been in the membership, if you haven't been in our clubhouse and you loved camp, I'm trying to take some of the best elements of camp and take them into the clubhouse. So the clubhouse has a totally different focus, totally different little personality. It's going to have a different little clubhouse itself. I'm literally banishing all the rooms and giving brand new rooms everywhere. So it's kind of like camp where you were allowed to like walk in the building, but there just wasn't anything there. And then one day, poof, all the rooms just kind of, they just appeared. So that's what's going to happen to you clubhouse members. One day you will, you'll sign in, you'll look around and go, where'd everything go? But not to worry, because Corey is always there with her little welcome page and her map and her direction. Where to go, what to do. Because that's what I love. That's what I spend the most time doing is how do I get everybody going like a little cattle down the chute, going the right direction to get the printables and all the things. And Chris, I just happened to look down. He says, I did a ton of overtime at work and missed a lot of camp. Chris, I was wondering where you were. I was like, I wonder if he shows up tonight. Yes, you were posting. I did notice that there were some people like Miss Rebecca. I know you got sick and I'm so sorry that happened to you. I know there were some people who like showed up in camp and then they disappeared. So I feel terrible when life pulls you away, when life, that crummy life and that adulting we have to do pulls you away. So I'm glad to see that that both of you are here. And Rebecca, thank you so much for welcoming everybody in the chat room. That was lovely. Let me welcome you now, everybody in the chat. Hello, Miss Bethany, and hi, Rebecca. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Chris. Down under. Hello, Miss Arlen. Hello, Miss Penny. Hi, Melissa. Hello, Janice. Hello, Christy. There you are. Hi, randomly Rhonda. Hello, Miss Giselle. Hi, Kathleen. Hello, Miss Annie. Hi, Laura. Hi, Karen. Eating dinner, but she's here. Hi, Miss Bonnie. Hello, Miss Bonnie. Hello, Robin. Hi, Jan. Hi, Victoria across the pond over there in Manchester. Pip, pip, cheerio. I know no one says that over there, but I love it. I learned that on I Love Lucy. I think we should bring it back. I don't think anyone says tickety boo either, but I think we should bring that back as well. And then let's see. Hi, Lucy. Hello, Melanie McFarland. Hello, Lauren. Hello, Jen Gober. Hello, Miss Ray. She's working on her Scrapbook Scout. Hello, Miss Creative Christian. Hello, Miss Amy Hoffman. Yeah, Amy, where'd you go, girl? I was seeing you and then all of a sudden you dropped off. And I do check in. It's not like I'm like in there all day, but I feel like I periodically check in every day. So I am kind of getting like a sense of like who's checking in. And if I really haven't seen you, I do go check in on your account and go, when did she or he check in last? Because, you know, as a good camp director, I like to make sure, like, are they okay? How come they're not in camp? Hi, Linda Haskins. Good to see you. Hi, Lorelei. Hi, Sherry Davis. Good to see you. Hello, Miss Justine. Hello, Jennifer Dubs. Some of you have been excellent posters in camp. I'm so proud of you. Some of you, Jenny and Edie, you've been master posters, posting up a storm. I know, Justine, you posted up a whole bunch of posts today. Shelly K. Hi, hello to you. Hello, Miss Kelly Anderson in there in Minnesota. Let's see here. Hello, Miss Lee. Lee, another person I hadn't seen in a while, but I just saw you today. Hi, Annabelle. Hello, his darling. I hope I'm saying that right. Hi, Mary I always want to say Mary Allen. Mary Allen. I always sneak up on your name because I got to do a run and start on it because I'm always convinced I'm going to say it wrong. I think I stumbled on it that time. Most of the time I say it right, though. Well, I'm really glad to see you. Let's see. Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo. Hi, Miss Claire. Good to see you. Pip, pip, and cheerio to you across the pond. Hi, Joanne Lay. Good to see you. Miss Joanne did all the things in camp. She did all of her crafty stuff. Good job. Going down the list, Hi, Doreen. Good to see you. Hi, Miss Darlene. I know it is sad when these things end. It always is. Hi, Shelly. Let's see. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Miss Margaret. Checking in from Massachusetts. Hi. Hi, Miss 78 Reflections. Welcome back. I'm happy to see your little face. Thanks for thanks for coming on back. I love it. Hi, Donna. Let's see. Hi, Birdie. Good to see your little face. Well, Melanie says, I haven't been super active in the lodge, but I'm so proud of all the work I've been doing in my junk journal. I think Jan said the same thing, is that she hadn't been posting. But you know what? That's fine. I am super impressed with, there's been lots of people posting. And if you haven't posted, I did not post much. I've kind of felt like, you know, I did a lot of videos, did a lot of live streams. I was popping up and doing live streams a lot for camp. Just like surprise live streams, like surprise, I'm going to jump on and do a live stream. So I kind of felt like that was my way of posting, if, you know, and just doing my projects live. But yeah, I don't think there's no pressure to post at all. There's plenty. I think we can all agree Karen Dewan knocked it out of the park with her posting. I think if we ran a little tally on Mighty Networks, I think Karen wins for most posts. She is the most active camper, which personally, my heart sings at seeing all of you being so excited. Any posts at all, any posts, even if you did one, that's content that went into the little camp, the memory box of just, I can't even tell you how it warms my heart. All of what I do behind the scenes to bring it to life. It just brings tears to my eyes to watch everyone have such a good time. And I forget sometimes, because I missed camp last year, I forget that feeling of watching that and seeing grown women posting pictures of their cereal. I can't remember, Margaret, if it was you with your little cereal spread you had out in your front yard. Some of the Edie with your little the little cabin that you put out there. Edie, you had some really cute pictures with your little mini me's that you did. I know that Kelly Smets in Belgium, she created some really cute dioramas. There was, just see that level of creativity, you know, to be reminded we're all a bunch of grown-up girls, and the level of dedication to pretending you're at camp. It's breathtaking. It really is. It just is. And I feel like a maestro. I feel like a magician that I managed to do something that could bring that to life and inspire women to pretend they're at camp. It is just, it's extraordinary. So I absolutely agree. And Edie says this was the best camp ever. And you know what? I agree. There was something very magical about this camp that it will always stand out to me. And I just feel like there's so many of you that I just got to see another side. I mean, I know many of you have participated in a lot of the camps, but this time there was just something special. I felt like a lot of you were very engaged on a whole other level. I felt like I was seeing faces I didn't necessarily see. And then those that I did see were like, you were stepping up your game. So it was just very, very impressive. The Aussie girls being in Australia, but they were like gathering together, like spending time together and having like real little craft sessions and self-care sessions. And that was really cool to see that. I loved that. Yeah. So Karen, Mark just brought up Karen's account. So Karen, if you watch this in the replay or if you're here, I haven't gotten through the chat, but 133 posts. So that's the number to beat. So she was very, very prolific, lots of inspiration. She was just sharing pictures from everywhere, from Pinterest, from Facebook. She was just sharing ideas and just really fun things. We found one of her posts today, the little ghost, the little tiny ghosts in the jar. Mark found that today, which he was so captured by. He was like, we need to make these. So anyway, it was a lot of fun just seeing the amount of joy. I just don't remember this level of people being so joyful with their experience, I think is what I'm trying to say. Jan says, I had more fun in this camp than any other. I feel like I was more involved, but it was on a personal level this year, which is saying a lot, Jan, because you are the costume contest winner, I believe, of 2021 with your epic costume of, I can't remember the character's name, but Jan put together a costume do you guys remember Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Helen Hunt? And she has this awesome costume with the little grasshopper on her head. And it's for the dance contest. And she goes up there on stage and gets partnered with this horrible guy that was paid off to like make her dance terribly and lose. Yeah, she dressed up like that. It was wonderful and deservedly won. So yeah, that's saying a lot that you felt this was the best. So, and Chris said it was an awesome camp, right? Yes. And this was also the first camp ever that had 2 Camp Thunderhead boys in the camp. We made history. And they were very, very well behaved. You notice that Miss Grunecker never had to post any demerits or any notices about the Camp Thunderhead boys. I just want to make that clear. Just want to point that out. I never came across a single memo about the Camp Thunderhead boys and their behavior. It was strictly towards the Scrapbook Scouts, but I'm not going to name any names. Okay, let me see. I so lost track of where I was. And also I think I need my glasses. Okay. Let me get back to where I was. So let me see. Kelly says life got in the way for me too. COVID got Rebecca. Let's see. There's Birdie. I got you. The Annabelle says life got in the way for me. Hi, Miss Marjorie. I'm glad you're here too. Hi, Kim Gardner. You know what happens too is that like a lot of us have the best of intentions when we start. I will be the first to say that I did. I have a huge amount of craft supplies. I was all ready to just throw myself into camp. So I will be the first to say that, yes, queen of the good intentions here. I crowned myself. But yes, I was not able to participate like I thought I would, because as soon as the camera goes off and as soon as I'm, done, what I found is I became very stressed about, like, I got to get the September content done for the clubhouse. Okay, now that's done. Okay, now I got to get the October and November, December content done. So I feel like it was just racing from one project to the next. And because it takes me so long to go through that process, it just felt like I can't do fun stuff. I got to do I got to do content. And so my fun thing was doing the pop-ups. It was like it was connecting with you, because what I'm doing right now, this is the fun thing. This is the fun thing that I enjoy. So this was, I should have given myself a badge for this, because I did unexpected live streams and I had a lot of fun just for, doing this part. Hi, Mary Maples. Yep, she said camp kicked off the same week as start of my business work season. So next year, my plan is to kick off camp the very beginning of July 1, or whatever that weekend is. That is my plan. And as God is my witness, it will never trickle into August again. It will. July is the month of camp. Hear ye throughout the land. That will be my goal forevermore. Now I learned so many valuable lessons though with this camp. Another reason why it's the best. I really, really learned things that got down into my knower, having to do all the project managing and all the building. And there's so many things that I did from like the ground up, not using templates, not using things I had depended on before, and not anyone helping me. So I had to learn stuff. So I have data I didn't have before, and now I know. July is the best month. Best month for you guys, best month for me in terms of like how our content, just like for planning purposes, and now how the content is going to flow all through the year with TRG. I now have a vision, I have a plan, I have projects for the whole year. And when you are in the membership, my friends, tomorrow, those of you who are coming to join me in the tea party, that's our last tea party ever. Tomorrow, you're in the explorer level of our membership. I will be sharing with you my grand vision for the rest of the season and next year. So it is a state of the union is what it is. So join me tomorrow. And if you have been on the fence about the clubhouse, this is about the time to consider joining. Because when it kicks off in the beginning of October, it's going to be cozy. Cozy season starts, and it's going to be amazing. I'm so sorry. This is like the longest intro ever. It's like an hour to do this one. What is it? 6:20? Let's see. Amy says, this camp was exceptional. Kelly Anderson contributed greatly to the exceptional. Absolutely 100%. Kelly brought her A game to this camp. She took it to the next level. I was so impressed. And Kelly, you're the one thing I had so many regrets about was my decision to do my scout in a binder, because when I saw your portfolio thing you did with the folder, I was like, oh, my Lanta, now I want to make it in that. And I was like, oh, it's too late. I've already invested in this direction. So yeah, that was amazing. So we need to converse on the next project a la Harmony. Sandra says, best camp ever, and I've attended from the first one in 2017. I love that, Sandra. Thank you. Annabelle says, I did paint rocks on the live, so I did participate, and I actually worked on the one crafty sesh. Good girl. That counts. I love that. That's right. Margaret says, no chin strap for Jan. That's right. She did it without the chin strap. but that she managed to find that whole little thing and got that whole outfit. That was very magical. That would be such a great costume. Now you always have a backup costume, Jan. Anytime that you ever need to, if you ever get invited anywhere, and every Gen Xer will be like, "Girls just want to have fun." Every Gen X girl will know exactly what you are. Yes, Melissa, this is a Girl Scout camera. I've had this. I bought this specifically for a camp prop for the very first camp. That is what it was purchased for. So it was in my very first photo somewhere in there. And Shelly, thank you. She says the lives were awesome. Margaret says, I love the pop-ups. Maybe they were less stressful for Corey. They were. These type of pop-ups were wonderful because I was just able to connect with you and have fun with you. I did not have to think about like, what am I going to say? What amazing thing do I have to impart? What do I have to teach? So no, it was just hanging out with you. It was just being with you and crafting with you as if we were at a retreat. So yeah, it was wonderful. I loved it. So that I did enjoy. Michelle Kingsley, hello, off to make a note for 2026. Calendar July camp. Yes. Kim Gardner, what time is tea? 1 p.m. Tomorrow it is on the calendar. If you are in the clubhouse and you've not checked the Explorers lounge, you do have, I put a post in there for you in the inbox, and I would read it because I did let you know that you have a very short window to watch a replay this time around because I'm basically demoing the clubhouse. So all of it will be gone. There will not be any content left to watch on the 30th of September. So be sure to go read that. I also, in your camp mailbox today, I put mail in there for you today. So you have until Sunday night to read the last of your mail, last mail that I gave you, and you have until Sunday night to access the last of the camp content. So whatever you want to grab from the camp lodge, someone's picture, oh, that inspires me, I'm going to grab that, do it now, because Sunday night, you will be, unfortunately, you will be locked out, and you'll be tapping on the window, and we'll be like, you can't come in. Closed. So it'll be time to start packing up on Sunday morning. So that's the thing. Hi, Maria. Hi, Georgia. Hello, hello. Okay, I finally got to the bottom. I got to the bottom. Jan purged the outfit. Jan. She got rid of it. And then Linda says, the only amazing thing you need to impart is your laugh. Aw, Linda. Okay, so let me just make sure I go over that one more time, just to be on the, we have about 100 people on the live chat right now. So next Friday is another Late Night Crafty Club. Okay, so make sure you mark that on your calendars because that kind of is off the normal schedule that we have. Next Friday is another Late Night Crafty Club. See me next Friday. Join me next Friday. Okay. Make sure you write that on your calendar. Put that in your phone. Set a little reminder to yourself right now. Next Friday. And we'll be going back to our normal 5 o'clock time. I was pushing back our time because it was camp and I was trying to be more fair to paid campers on the West Coast. But now we're pushing it back because it's getting dark. It'll be dark sooner. It'll feel like late night. And because the majority of you are actually East Coasters. You're Midwest East Coasters. Okay, so that's A. Sorry, I didn't mean to get water all over me. The next little point of business is tomorrow is the last tea party for the Explorers Lounge. It is at 1 p.m. If you are an explorer, please go into the Explorers Lounge, go check the mail that I posted there today. It just gives you a little bit of housekeeping and tells you that you have a time limit on this particular replay and what I'm going to talk about, so you don't want to miss it. Sunday is the last day you have access to the camp platform. You have until Sunday night. And then I explained in that email what is going to happen going forward. So what Mark and I are going to do is take the content from camp, the workshops, the printables, the live streams, and all of that's going to get moved to a permanent home. And then it is going to be offered as a lifetime access product. So it'll be like, you know, sold as like a retreat, workshop, whatever I end up calling it. And then you will be able to keep. So it will not have the camp lodge. So all the little posts and conversations, it will not have that. It'll have every, the more, the things that are more stable. And it'll have probably the playlists and the Pinterest boards and that kind of thing. I am hoping to have that done in the fall, mid-ish fall. I would really hope to have it done by then. And I will reach out via email. Whatever email you use to sign up, we are going to use that email to contact you with a link to purchase that lifetime access product. And that link is special because you are going to get a huge discount to do that. Everybody else will pay the regular price on our website, but you will get a special, like a big discount, so that it'll feel like you bought like this. It'll feel like you went into the camp gift store and you bought like the commemorative DVD. Like, here's all your memories. It's like, it'll feel like that, like you bought that and took it home. So that's what I want you to feel like is, but it just wasn't ready until the fall because I just have all of these things stacked up on top of each other, one after another. So that is my hope and my plan. But when it is ready, when it happens, those are the emails we're going to use to contact and give you a link. You will not purchase it directly from our website because I can't give you a discount that way. So that's what's going to happen. Okay. So I think I have handled all of the housekeeping. I will bring it up towards the end of my session with you. And if you brought stuff to craft with, I hope you're crafting while I've been blabbing. I've been sitting here cutting up little pieces. Oh, what was I going to tell you? One thing I wanted to mention, I think I put this in the mail today. I've learned a lot about camp, you know, like putting together the Scrapbook Scout, the Scrapbook Scout, the project, you know, like every year we do this little junk journal project. They're not little. Okay. I'll say that. Most of us end up making pretty big, bulky projects. But one thing I love about it, and the thing that I realize it's kind of what makes camp, I think the thing that many of you think about when you think of camp is that there is there's kind of a core project that we're all sort of working on, that's like something in common that we're all doing. Would you agree that that's kind of a core thing? Now, I never want anyone who comes to camp to feel like a failure if they haven't made it, or if they're not crafty or they're not doing that, because that absolutely is not the case. You absolutely do not need to make a Scrapbook Scout or anything to come to Camp Reset. So I'm sorry, one moment, please. I'm so sorry. I just had to send a text. I noticed my cousin isn't here, so I'm like, come join me on LLC. Okay, I'm so sorry. I was distracted. So that's the thing that's kind of been like inspiring my whole plan for the clubhouse, is like, to me, that's one element of camp. I don't want to steal the magic of camp. I want that to be very special. But that's one thing about it that I can see that really becomes sort of like this little engine that kind of propels everybody forward, is like, we're all working on this project. We're all doing a similar thing. So that's what I started thinking about, is like, what if we had something similar to that in the clubhouse, not at that scale, because that scale is, I think the scale of the Scrapbook Scout can be very huge, but maybe something smaller, slimmer, lighter, and that would feel like my philosophy that I've just kind of come to is like, I realize now that one thing that if I had to do things over again, if I made 10 awesome pages, like 10 really good, I spent a lot of time on each page, and I walked out of there, and it took me like a couple months to do it, but like I walked out of there with rock star pages, and I was like, yeah. Because sometimes I see things on Pinterest where I'm like, how long did that take them? But sometimes when I look at it and I see the detail, sorry, I'm looking for my Scrapbook Scout. I'll see that, that person, there's a lot of like technique that they used. And I realize, I don't necessarily put that much time into doing stuff. I'm kind of like doing a lot of, what do you call it? I'm doing like a lot of shortcuts. I'm doing a lot of shortcuts because in general, when I'm buzzing through camp and I'm, I think I'm representative of a lot of women. Sometimes you feel like I don't have a lot of time. I want to produce something. I want something to show for my time in camp, but I can't spend hours on this. But if I had a 3-month window to work on something, but I narrowed down the scale of it. So I'm telling myself, look, you're going to just make 5 to 6 pages tops. But now you're going to like really hone it in on these and spend more time and like slow down and think about it. Like some of the things, and this is what inspired me, honestly. This is really what got me thinking about it. Can I just share this with you? Because I did this page in the pop-up. So I didn't do this on the Late Night Crafty Club. So this is kind of what got me thinking about it. And I want you to think about this. This is kind of like a general idea. I just want you to consider, because I am really somebody who just really embraces shortcuts, doing things fast. I'm not shy about saying I'm a lazy crafter at all, at all. I don't ever see myself like being a very, like, I don't know. I just don't see myself as being a very intense crafter and like doing all the things. But because I got a little taste of like, wow, this is what it could be like if I took more time. I also know that another aspect of things is if I knew more techniques, if I knew how to use some of the tools that I actually own, I probably would do more things. Like I saw some things in camp that I was like, wow, that is amazing. And I probably own things that would allow me to make something like that. But the truth is I don't take the time to do it. And it's because I think in my style has been is like make a lot of pages, like do it quick, do it fast, do like really simple little things. And I'm not saying what I'm saying to denigrate or like rip on the stuff that I do, because I like the stuff I do, but every now and then maybe for a season trying a different style could also be really cool. So one thing that I thought was fun, this is a simple thing, is this is just a photo, and I wrote on the rug with a pen, and it ends up looking like a pattern in the rug, which I thought was really cool. Like you wouldn't really know that at a distance. So I use that as a journaling spot. So like, here's a tip, like when you're looking at photos is like, consider the photos becoming part of like an all-in-one kind of product that you're slipping into a pocket or just using as a page. That the white space in that photo can serve as a place for an interesting place to put journaling, which I learned. You can also use like the walls in the background as a place to add embellishments, like start embellishing their wall with your stickers, your washi, like start adding decor to something like a picture of a house or a picture of a room. So I thought that was really such a neat, like those neat little details. It was like a little door opened in my mind when it came to like something creative. I was like, oh, something as simple as a room interior design can actually become an interesting new sort of canvas. And once in camp, we talked so much about photos and make-believe memory keeping and all of that. And I was pointing you to Pinterest. Now it makes shopping for photos even more interesting and more fun, because now you can start looking for photos in a unique way. Does that photo lend itself to becoming an opportunity for interesting journaling? Can I start incorporating that in an interesting way with my like layering circles or my washi or my stitches or like some of the elements that I have? So this little simple thing could kind of springboard into a different type of crafting when you start looking at a potential for like, ooh, that photo has so many interesting places for me to stick my stickers. Okay. So here's the little page that I am talking about. And I ended up mounting the page to chipboard because it was not stable enough. It wasn't strong enough, sturdy enough for me to use. It was actually quite small. The paper, it's a paper meant to go into a pocket, which I realized once I completed it. I'm like, you can't stick this into a pocket because it'll keep it from not being able to open. So I don't remember exactly how this whole little story came to be, but it very much was a story. I started because I had all of these little pictures that I had printed out. These are books that I thought were so cute. Some of them I've read, and some of them I thought were just fun camp themed books. And I wanted to have them in my camp library as part of my camp reset story. So this was part of the Garfield series, and I was a huge Garfield fan when I was like 12. I ended up with all of them that they had before I aged out of that whole system. And so I thought it would be fun. I printed out some of them. That was the magazine I had, and there's blubber. So I printed these all out and I cut them down, and I wanted to make a camp library for my book. And I figured out that if I put them in a little pocket, this would become like a little gate. So it was like I was opening a gate and going into my little camp library. So it's like a little mobile library that rolls up to camp. And it's the camp reset little library. And it says, welcome in, pick out a book and settle into our cozy space or in your cabin. So you could take your books back to your cabin or cozy up, because no matter when you go, there's always a space for you. So I thought this would be so fun. I'm going to tuck these in here. And so it's like a little surprise waiting for you, and it kind of comes back. But I have never built a page like this. And I know this is so simple compared to some of the more complex stuff out there. But just the engineering and having to think it through, and then the story of it and the whole process, I just realized, like, what if I could spend so much more time and not feeling like I should be working faster and putting more pages together? And what if, like, I just spent a whole little afternoon just working on this one page, and that was like one of 6 total projects that I had for the whole season? Like that. What if that was kind of the concept? What if camp, I'll just use this as an example. What if Camp Reset was a 6 project kind of deal, where it's like, here's your 6 little projects. In other words, you are going to build a Scrapbook Scout. Here are the 6 projects you're going to build in your Scout. You're going to make you're going to do something with tip-ins. You're going to do something with a junk journal envelope. So you're given the little parameters, but you can build it any way you want. And it's just really cool. So you're challenged by being given a prompt, but you get to execute it any way you wish. So I started thinking of things like that. Like, what if we were all working from the same song sheet? We were all using the same thing. It's kind of the idea of Listers Got a List, like we all had the same prompts, and then we would execute them. And so it was that kind of camaraderie that we were all working together, but then how we execute them might look different, but we're not overwhelmed with all of this stuff that we feel like we have to do. And it's a very short, simple little list. And that way, For those of us who have more time, you can be as, you know, you can take as much, like make it as fancy as you want. You can add on to your book. You can really go to town with it. And if you are short on time, it is a more appropriate list for you. And even if you only did a couple things, you know, that might feel good. And the great thing about building pages is sometimes certain pages can feel like they don't even have to go in a book or be bound in any way. You could literally frame them instead of putting them in a book at all. So some things you build might just be better off framed or clipped like into a on a clipboard. So like you could do the work, but then clip it and use it as art, like a mini art gallery. So like your work wouldn't be wasted, you know, if all you were able to do is just do one page. So I don't know. I was extremely inspired by this. So huge hint, huge hint on how things are going over here at Planning Central and how things will be shaping up for our clubhouse content and the pace. And even if you choose not to be in the clubhouse, that projecty thing, that kit, will be something you could still opt into, even if you don't want to like be in community and do it together. You could still do that on your own. So yes, I learned a lot of, I learned some things in this camp season that was very inspiring to me, and just watching people light up and be very creative. And I want to bring some of that in, that without stealing from camp, because I always want camp to be special, but I want to take that craftivity. I tried to build it in a different way. But I think the way I did it was a little bit too cerebral. It was too thoughtful. It was too journally. So I think that making it more playful and more prompt and more the joyful camp approach, I think I have Eureka. I think she's got it. All right, Jen Gober, I knew you would, girl. I knew it. I knew you would. All right. Okay. So anywho, that's where I was. So this was my little camp library. Everybody's welcome. It has a stunning amount of choices and options. This is just some of the options. You do have to use the Dewey Decimal System. I'm sorry, we're not digital here. I think us boomers and Gen Xers are the only ones who are going to be able to navigate that. I don't know. I'm sure that lasted into the millennials world. I don't know when that got ditched, or what it looked like for millennial kids in high school. What did it look like? Let me know. I would be curious what it looked like for you guys. When did it become computerized, so that you no longer had the cards? I should say Dewey Decimal System, because the system didn't go away. What I'm referring to is the cards, the little card system. That's what I'm talking about. Did that exist for those of you who are in the millennial generation? Did that exist for you when you were in high school? I know there are some of you here. It's true, Jen. It wouldn't be a library without the Dewey Decimal System. And honestly, I don't know what they would do. What other system would that work? Justine says working at the library was one of my favorite jobs in college. Were you a shusher? You know, I don't remember. I know as an adult, like, librarians don't seem to shush people. They'll let them talk and stuff. So I don't really feel like the shushing is a thing. But like when we were younger, they sure shushed us. Shushing was a thing. But Deb says, can you imagine if everything went down and we had to go back? There'd be so many clueless people out there. They'd never find their books. Hi, Heather. She says in 2007 in Virginia, we used the card still, could only use one online resource. Ray says, I did not have the cards and I went to high school in 2010 through 2014. You are a younger millennial. Okay, so you did not have the cards. But you know what, Ray? We would not let you get lost. We would take you under our wing. We would help you, girl. You're one of us. Jen says, I was the last Gen X with the cards and changing to the computers. I worked in the high school library my senior year in 97. They installed the computer somewhere around 95. Hi, Patty P. Was finally able to access the chat. Annie says, I would love it. I don't think I would remember things without the work of it. The research was the best part. There was something just so fun about that those little drawers and going through the cards and then here's the part I seem to recall, like you'd have to write down, you weren't allowed to take the card out. You'd have to write down your book you were looking for and then go search it out on the bookshelves. So at my school, I was the last grade. I graduated in 1989 and I was the last year of high school. They were just installing computers in my school. So they replaced all the typewriters with computers. That was the last techie thing happening in my school when I left. So that was my crossover. I was the last of the typewriter crew. Ray says that I just saw your comment, Ray, which is funny. About you use the cards now for crafting, right? They're great for crafting. I use them too. I love them. Chris, I don't know if you're here. I know that you're Mr. Digital guy. And Rachel, I see your little I see your comment up above. I just scroll right back up to it, and the retreat is ending. I'm sorry, but I shall come back around next year, and I hope that you will be able to join us again. But I will be here throughout the year doing the Late Night Crafty Club, so you always have a seat here with me. Holly B says the card catalog, the good old card catalog. Hey, Ellen Stevenson. Darla says, the Library of Congress system in college, the Dewey Decimal child and adult. The card catalog was my job at the public library, converted in 1984. No, sorry, 1994. So it sounds like the 90s is that early 90s. Sharon Wilcox is speaking truth here. She says it pays to have older friends. We need to have that on a t-shirt. This is, Sharon, that reminds me of the joke I make about how every introvert needs to have an extrovert friend in their pocket. You need to have one of those extrovert friends to pull out because you never know when you're going to be forced into a socializing situation, and that way you can pull it out, pull them out and have them do the talking for you. I think it's kind of like that. I think millennials just, they need to have a Gen X friend to help them. You never know what you might need a little bit of some life skills for that you got shortchanged on, and you might need a Gen Xer to help you. I'm just kidding. And there's my cousin. Hello, did you get my text? I texted you. I actually texted you in the middle of my show to let you know that I was doing this. So Chris was looking for a book. That's funny. How ironic. Chris has an appreciation for the old things. So you have kind of a funny thing. You've got one foot in the digital world, but yet you have an appreciation for the antiques, the vintage things. Okay. Margaret says, and we're glad to help. We are, right? Us Gen X girls, we lock arms with our millennial sisters. Okay. Well, some of them have no use for us, but what can I say? All right. Am I ready to craft? I was going to say, are we ready to craft? But it's me. It's not you, it's me. I'm the one goofing off here. Lucy says, I loved my little library in Brooklyn Heights. I have a picture of it. My Wonder Years project. Oh, that's so sweet. Lucy, I don't know if you'll appreciate this, but the first time that I ever went to New York City with my mom, it was for my 40th birthday. It was like a dream come true to go to the city, but I dragged her across, dragged her over to Brooklyn just so I could buy a copy of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn because it needed to come from Brooklyn. I wanted so badly like to go trace that neighborhood that Francie was from and all the like little locations that is mentioned in the book. But yeah, I had to have that book from Brooklyn. It needed to be from there. So now I have like 3 copies of it. I have like a first edition. I have that one that I bought in Brooklyn. And then I have my mom's, the one that she got me to read when I was a little kid. She kept asking me to read it. And finally I was like, all right. And then it was the best book ever. There you go, Sharon. All right. I call Sharon. Everybody grab your extrovert. Let's see. Kelly Anderson's an extrovert. We need to have the extroverts identify themselves. We might have to like tag like double team up because I think the introverts on this in this community far outweigh. So extroverts are the best. They're the best, especially when they do not require you to be extroverted, when they're a very understanding extrovert and they'll just do the heavy lifting for you. It's wonderful because then you can just kind of sit back and then just kind of weigh in and be like, It's great. I learned that you can just end up looking like you're very social and let them just do all the talking. It's wonderful. Margaret says that she's an extrovert mostly. You know, Margaret, my impression is that you and Jan give me extrovert feels. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but that's just those are the feelings, the vibes that I get sometimes. So it's hard to tell sometimes with extroverts online, right? It is hard to tell because Birdie says, I got A Tree Grows in Brooklyn stamped at the New York Public Library. It's my favorite book too. How fun. That was another stop on our trip that day, was the New York Public Library. My dream was to get a public library card. My hope was that I would go in there, and I didn't think they'd give me an active one because I obviously don't live there, but I thought I could get like a blank one, like they would just give me one that didn't work. But that was not to be. They would not give it to me. So they dashed my hopes. So I had the nerdiest birthday. I had like this little laundry list of things I wanted to do from all the books and all the little things I've seen through the years. I'm from New York. Okay. Joanne says, I'm an extrovert. We need to have someone take, Maria says, I'm an extrovert. Ellen says, I'm an extrovert. Ellen, I did not know that. Ellen says, the rest of my family is introvert. Well, Ellen, that's funny. My whole family was extroverted and I was the introvert. So, and then my daughter's a big time extrovert. So I'm very much the odd person out, the weirdo. Rachel says that I'm an extrovert unless it's a large group. Then I become introverted. Yeah, I become a little silent in a group. I totally do not talk. Kelly says, weird that we're talking about New York. I just shared my New York experience with my daughter a few hours ago. Kelly, when did you go to New York? Was that recently? Jan says, I'm totally an extrovert. How did I know? I just had vibes. I could just tell there was just something. And while all you introverts are silent, my mouth is yapping. Chris says, I'm partial extrovert because I deal with customers, but is it claimed or calmed by Janice? So is that like being an ambivert? Bertie says, I would live at the New York Public Library. I'd live there if they wouldn't throw me out. Is that kind of reminds me of like the mixed up files of Mrs. Basil Frank Weiler, except at the library. Is there a movie where somebody's at the library? Or is that a museum? Can't think of I'm thinking of a movie, but I think it's not at a library. I think it's at a museum. Joanne says, I thought I was an introvert, but all my friends totally disagree. Christy says, I'm an extrovert Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. Yes, I hear you, Christy. I can extrovert for the work hour if I need to, but then I will never talk to you and you will never see me outside of work hours. Kelly says 2008. I wonder if we went there if I was there at the same time. It is, Carrie. It is. Because I even remember my mom saying that when we were there, she was like, oh, your cousin is here. Or your cousin lives, I can't remember exactly how she worded it, but she did tell me that. Thank you, honey. That is what I was probably thinking about, was Night at the Museum. Oh, I got you, Chris. Janice has claimed you. I got you. I figured it out. Okay. Jennifer Gober says, at breakfast at Tiffany's, Holly goes to the library. Thank you, Jennifer Gober. That is true. Thank you. I knew there had to be some fine film that has shown the library, glorified it as it should be. And that is a stunning library. I can't remember, is it the two lions that they have out front? I think their names are Justice and Patience. Does anybody know? I think those are they have names. My memory is not wonderful, but I think those are the names. Am I right on one of them? Carrie, do you know? Maria, we should do a night at the public library. That would be so fun. Yeah, that library was really something. Walking into it, oh, it felt so incredible. How many different floors and rooms? We went into an antique book room that had like all the antique books that are like really old. It was just amazing. Miss Rachel, this is my this album was from Allie Edwards. So Allie Edwards, this is her design on the outside, but I did this on the inside. So I like just modified it with my own paper because I didn't love the inside. And it's funny that you say, Rachel, Rachel says, off topic, is your binder book something or crafted? Actually, that is on topic. That is actually the topic of Late Night Crafty Club. I have steered us off topic, Rachel. That's the irony of your question. I've steered us off into all different kind of squirrel roadways, highways. Okay. All right, I got one of the lions. I got patience. Okay, patience and fortitude. Patience and fortitude. So there's a fun fact for you. If you didn't know, the two gorgeous lion statues that sit in front of the New York Public Library, you'll see them in any movie that shows that library, or if you've been there. They have names. patience and fortitude. Okay, friends, I am actually going to do some work. Thank you very much, Miss Carrie. Speaking of Tiffany, I ordered that book you talked about on Wonder Years workshop. It arrived today and I already read page 1. What book was that? Patty, what book was that? What book did I steer you to? I hope it was a good book. Okay. I best get to crafting. Otherwise, we'll be right back at the late night chatty club. And I don't know if that's a good way to send off our campers. Is it was just the night of Corey chit-chatting again. Her chit-chatting. Okay. Oh, but I have to chit-chat for just a second. I wanted to show you something. So this is important. This is a camp message. So one of the things that I talked about in one of the I think it was a workshop or it was here on the Late Night Crafty Club. I don't remember, but it had to do with the idea that when we get set up for camp, you know, to treat camp like it's a season. It's like a season. It's a holiday. It's a special event in your life. It's not ordinary. You don't just like kind of tuck your supplies away like they mean nothing to you. So I got a bin, a green one. It was a special color from all the other ones I own. So I got an orange one for my fall stuff and I got a green one for my camp stuff. So this is going to be for all my camp decor and my special camp supplies. So when I mean camp supplies, I bought stuff for camp. Like, oops, when I say that, I mean like I bought summer crafting paper. I will not reach for this the rest of the year. So why should it be sitting here taking up precious real estate? So I'm going to pack up the kits that I bought, the all that stuff that I bought for my binder. I'm going to bind it all up. My special October afternoon stuff, my studio calico kits, all these magazines that I have sitting here, the junk journaling stuff. Like this is what I have done from day one is I would keep pulling out the same country living magazines over and over and over again. So yeah, I have all these new summer ones, but because the the summer magazines I actually started with are still boxed up somewhere. I don't know where they are just yet because not all of our stuff is not unpacked. So these are new, which is very exciting. But I'm going to treat my camp stuff like it's a seasonal event, like it is like a holiday. And just like you would put your Christmas stuff away at the end of the season, I'm putting my camp stuff away. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, is to consider that kind of makes camp sort of like this little sacred space in your life and among your craft supplies. I know some things that wouldn't pertain to like general crafting supplies. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you bought special things for camp, I would say that this might be an opportunity to kind of think about that being something you sort of set aside and say, I'm only going to bring that out for camp. Because some things, there's a reason why they feel special, is you only get to see them for part of the year. That's why when you pull out some of your like some of your Christmas or Thanksgiving things, it's like as soon as you unwrap it, you start thinking about all the memories you have with that object or item. You start the significance of that item matters to you. And I'm not saying that you'll have the equivalent experience from unwrapping your pads of paper, but these will not be as ordinary and less, you know, if I just leave them out here and treat them like clutter. Now I'm treating them like, oh, I gotta move this. They're taking up space. It's just another bunch of stuff I have to deal with. Instead, I'm going to pack them up with all my special camp-oriented craft supplies, and these only see the light of day when I go to camp. So it's time to go to camp. I'm going to take all my camp stuff with me. So, and that way, it just makes the whole thing feel special. Exactly, Annie, like my picnic blanket, maybe that's going to go in there. Maybe some of the stuff that like I bought, even though I could totally use it, maybe it's going to go in there. So it just has a, what's that word? Like there's a consecrated kind of feel to stuff, you know? So it's not just stuff. This is how you start elevating and making something more significant in your life. Because for those of us who were like, oh, I didn't get to do as much as I wanted, or, you know, there's certain things that we can start helping ourselves with to make an online experience feel a little bit more significant and start kind of like getting into your kind of planting itself in your life, because it is hard for an online virtual experience, something that you need to start like planting roots down into your life to make it feel like camp season's coming. I need to start blocking off time on my calendar. You know what I mean? Like if you were planning a vacation, you would start making sure you were putting that on your calendar. You would start having a task list. You would start making sure you were building that experience into your life. You would start having like, I need to go do this. I need to do that. I need to make sure that I've done certain things in preparation for that. So when you know camp is coming, it's like, I got to get my camp box. I need to plan for like time to go unwrap things. And this way you've gathered everything, and your future self is not going to be spending time trying to gather stuff. It's one less thing you have to do next year. You'll have everything all together. Everything will be all in one spot, and you'll just be pulling out one bin or a couple small bins, and things will feel special, and you'll get to have the little craft, you know, supplies or whatever that you bought for just your summer crafting, and it'll feel like, oh, I forgot I had this, right? Because you tucked it out of sight. So that's my yeah, exactly, Shelly. Like the mini me's, like tuck your mini me's in here. I'm thinking about like this is something I learned with my little A-frame cabin and my mini me's. So historically, I have usually put them away and they're in a bin. I have been kind of thinking about it because I saw some pictures on Pinterest, and I don't know, Margaret, if you've seen them, but people have been using this A-frame cabin as like a winter chalet. They put like little fake snow around it. They make little wreaths for it. They like turn it into like a little winter wonderland. It's so, so, so cute. The same thing with the little yellow house, which mine's in storage. I was kind of contemplating holding onto it, turning it into a little Christmas cottage. So I'm not sure about that, but like these are all going to get packed up. This all here is going to get packed up. Those are all my summer books. So, right, Margaret, look on Pinterest, type in A-frame cabin winter or holiday or something. Oh, don't do that. That'll probably bring up real pictures. Fisher Price, A-frame cabin Christmas. They are so, so cute. Maybe you do that with your stuff. Anyway, so that's my little message to you is this weekend, as we start packing up to head home, I will be breaking down all my summer stuff and putting up my fall stuff, because I have it all sitting here on the floor, dying to put all my fall. I got a bunch of fall things, like one little spooky thing, and I just can't wait to put stuff up in the new season. I'm sorry, I'm challenged here. Okay, so now it's time to craft. I could talk all night. Just talk all night. But then we wouldn't have a show. Yeah, Lucy, look it up. You guys look it up. Look it up. I don't know if I saved it to my Pinterest board because I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. And it's sitting right there. Do I really want to put it away when I could make it? I mean, they didn't have any good fall inspiration for the cabin, but they had it for Christmas. Okay, so, but that's the great thing about the clubhouse is that all the fun fall stuff, the cozy season that we're about to approach, this is where we could start sharing our spaces and how we're setting up things because of some of the activities that we'll be doing and with the content. It'll be fun to share. I was even thinking about doing like a Happy Mail swap for the season because with a 3-month kind of content plan, I was thinking, that might be a good opportunity to do that. We haven't done that in a long time. Okay, chop. This book is not going to craft itself. If only it would. I haven't seen it. Jen Gober asked if anyone's decorated this little house for fall. I haven't seen it pop up organically, but I didn't search for it. So I saw lots of them pop out for Christmas. This style, the little Tudor house style, and then the little yellow house. And they had really cute little vignettes that they had built, like with the little cars parked in the little driveway. They had little lights on the front of the house. They had just created some really cute scenes. But I don't remember seeing anything that was fall related. And this is totally fall. It lends itself to fall. But I have a little cute, like a little black kind of, it's like something to put a candle in. It looks like a little black mansion, like a little spooky house. And I was thinking that I don't know if they want to be neighbors. I'm not sure if they want to be neighbors. It would be like, did you guys remember that movie, The Burbs? That might be a really good show to watch in the fall because it's kind of, I remember it being family friendly. It's a show where it was trying to be a little, I don't know what the right word is because it's not a scary movie. It's a comedy. It has Tom Hanks in it. But it's called The Burbs, right? Yeah. And they have neighbors that he thinks they run a mortuary. You guys remember this movie? Anyway, that's what I would think of them if they had neighbors like that. They would be concerned about their neighbors. Like it was living next to the Addams Family. Maybe that's what they do. They're living next to the Addams Family. Da-da-da-da. Maybe that's what I need to do. That's how I'll be able to keep them up there. Maybe I'll just be telling a little story with them. Because right now they have like a little disco going on. Late Night Crafty Club disco. See, we got fans of The Burbs in here. Oh, Carrie Fisher was in that movie. Was she her husband? Wait, was he her husband? Is that they were a married couple in that movie? I didn't remember that part that she was married to him. That was a really that was a funny movie. I just remember his neighbors and how they inspired to spy on them on the family. Oh my goodness. All right, Margaret. Okay, I think I'm getting convinced I need to keep this house. Put the little black. I got it at Home Goods. I could not resist. It looks like the Addams Family lives in this little house, and they'll be neighbors. Yay, Ellen, that's wonderful to hear. She said, I want to give a shout out for the Cozy Craft Space workbook. It really helped get my space usable and help with camp. Yay! That's the free workbook that we're advertising right there. It's free. It's a 30 days to a cozy craft space. It's actually quite a big printable book. And it is designed for you to help walk you through day by day, working on your craft space, one little area at a time. For someone like me who hates doing stuff like that, it's actually very, very nice because I absolutely hate projects like that. And so I found that to be a nice breakdown of working through organizing. I love being organized. I love it so much, but it's the process that's so painful. But once I get there, oh my gosh, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It doesn't last long, but no, it does. It does. It's just hard to be in such a small space. But can I also thank you, Rebecca? She said it's fabulous and it's very helpful and it's free. Did I mention it's free? If you've not signed up for my free workbook, basically, to be honest with you, I'm giving you a free workbook and you're getting on my newsletter list, of which I will hardly bother you because I'm horrible at sending newsletters. So you're really getting the better end of this deal, I promise. So anyway, this is how I keep in touch with you. So I give you something that's helpful and then I just email you once in a great while. I need to get better at that. I do. That was really my goal this year. That's why I'm saying the weekly-ish newsletter. It's not even a monthly-ish newsletter. And anybody in the chat who knows me knows that that's true because the last time you got a newsletter from me was probably before camp started. So I think I told you camp's open. And then that was the last you heard of me. So it's definitely worth your while to get on my newsletter list because I do not pester. I'm not a pester. Trust me, I'm on newsletter lists where people send me a newsletter every week or every day. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I will give it a little time and I will see, is this person's newsletter worth opening? Sometimes there are a couple people in my newsletter inbox that are worth it. They absolutely are worth it. But I give you some time and then eventually we break up because no, we're not. But trust me, I find that I don't like to just I don't like sending stuff just to send stuff. So if I feel like I don't want to waste your time. And if I don't have something good, like in mind to send, but I'm gonna have to start thinking about that. Like, what if I just want to tell you stuff like, this is what I did today and this is what I'm going to do next month. And maybe it's like something like it's a thoughtful, reason why I'm telling you that. It's just a matter of like, how do I make this thoughtful? How do I turn this into a thoughtful post? I think that's my problem. Woohoo! Patty says that 30-day book made it possible for me to find all kinds of camp supplies. Superb booklet. Thank you. I'm so glad. I've actually not heard any feedback, so I'm so glad to hear this. Jen says, Corey, you are one of the worth it people in my inbox. Aw, Jen. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I don't want to take that for granted. So that's why I'm very careful not to send things unless it's like really, really good stuff. Or I feel like I have to. Excellent. Margaret printed it out and she started the process too. Good. So I have a little cottage space to be moving into. And so I think that is a big inspiration for me for like this season is moving in there and kind of like spreading out and having like a whole space to like spread out and be like a little artist in. And I think it's going to change a lot for me because this is a very small little space to try to be in. I don't know that I don't have any plans to change the Late Night Crafty Club, like change this filming area, but being in there like to work in, and my goal is to do the new gatherings that we have in there for the membership, the once a month gatherings. Notice I didn't call them tea parties. Those I would like to film in there. More on that tomorrow. Okay, I'm getting nothing done. Officially, nothing done. I realize now the reason why is because I think I was planning on getting some. I cut out these pictures ahead of time. Look at that. Look at that picture. Is that not beautiful? They sigh. Pinterest said that this is an AI modified picture. If it is, if that's true, I like it like glancing at it, I can't even tell. Sometimes it's so obvious, like the cooking, like the cookbook type pictures. I feel like those when someone uses AI to do them, it's so obvious. AI struggles to do certain kinds of like vegetables and shrimp. Oh gosh, they do a terrible job with shrimp. But this, I don't know if I buy it that it's that unless I'm missing something. That just looks like heaven on a porch, like heaven on a deck. I just want to sit right there. That's my seat. This is your seat. Let's just sit there. Let's just sit there together. Okay, Margie has some tips for me. I love it when newsletters have things like what's saving my life right now, or 3 things I love, a podcast they love, or new lipstick, or their reading time before they go to bed. They're just happy little snippets of their lives. Margie, me too. Me too. I love that too. I need to sit there and think about like, I'll open someone's email and go, I love this email. I love this person's emails. What is it about the email I love? Because this is what I should be doing. I don't know. I just have a hard time accepting that you guys like my emails. I know all these years of having an email list and I still have these like loyal hangers on. And you know, once the whole listers got a list, like all of that got cut off, you know, because like my list was like over 20,000 people and it was largely because of it was because of listers. So like after like maybe 15,000 of that was hacked off. So now I have this like solid 5,000 people, solid. And I have a really high open rate. So I know these are solid, but I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't want to just tell you like, this is for sale. This is in the shop. I don't want to do that. I want it to be like a great newsletter. I want it to be good. I want it to make you feel the way it makes me feel when I open. There's like a couple people's email that I love. But what they send me has to do with like business stuff. It has to do with like, improving things I do in business. And that isn't interesting to you. So I'm like, I don't know I don't know. I need to find someone who's doing what I'm doing, but then, is just like a regular person. I don't know. Oh, Lucy, you guys are so sweet. You guys are so funny. You're like, we like you. We like you. Tell me more about my eyes. I'm just kidding. You girls are too kind to me. Too kind to me. DC Sly. I hope I'm saying that right because that just slides out of my mouth. Hello from Nelson, British Columbia. So glad to actually catch a live with you. Well, I'm glad you're here, eh? There are some fellow Canadians here on the show too. So I'm glad you're here as well, British Columbia. So you are on the West Coast, right? Oh my gosh, please tell me I didn't embarrass myself with my terrible geography. When it comes to Canada, I struggle with Canada. I'm not going to lie. I know Nova Scotia. I have a Nova Scotia friend. I have a Prince Edward Island friend. I have Toronto friends. British Columbia, please tell me you are above me. I am in Washington State. Deb says, I would love to see ways I can use older products I have, like the old collections. Me too, Deb. We should get somebody to do that. That's why I had a team at one time, because I wasn't someone who used the collections. So that's why I would have other people do that, because they were so good at it. That wasn't my strength. However, having said that, I'm trying to create the kit that I would use and that I would be excited for. So hopefully that will solve the problem going forward. I mean, there's so many things I love looking at that I think are super cute, but I have a hard time like using them. Like somehow there's, you know, how you can admire something, but then not necessarily want to craft with it. Sometimes that's kind of how I feel. I get stuck with that. Maria says your emails are always great. I save them in a special folder on my account. You girls are you're so sweet. Kelly says I open newsletters if I think there is a chance of a coupon. Okay, Kelly, just for you, I'm going to put in the subject line, no coupon. That way you won't waste your time opening my newsletters. DC Sly. Okay, so yes, the E is silent, eh? Well, thank you, Shelly. Good night, Amy. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Sherry Davis. You're so sweet. Shelly says, I only know Windsor and Toronto. Lots better than I'm doing. I don't know Windsor. I do know Toronto. I know that's the East Coast. It's like the New York City. That's how I equate it in my brain. So BC is Western Province. Nelson is in the Kootenays. So Western. Yes, I picked right. I don't know why I'm struggling with that. That's British Columbia. So that would be like Vancouver, right? Going up north. Because Vancouver, that is easy to remember as a Washingtonian because we have a Vancouver of our own. And then there's a Vancouver above us. Good. Oh, you're not going anywhere. I thought Patty was leaving, but oh no, she is. Good night, Patty. You're going on the replay. Chris says I had an aunt in the Kamloops. I've heard of the Kamloops. Oh, Kelly, thank you. Yeah, Rachel, I've heard of those paper books. I think Bethany actually had one. I think something like that. She showed it to me. Like a big paper book. It's just full of different pattern papers. Excellent. Justine says she opens all my emails. Well, good to know. At least I'll have like a 6 of you, 10 of you will be opening my emails. I have confirmation on that. Okay, so it's now 7:30. I have done nothing. But I think we've been here before. I think that Corey is just up to her old shenanigans. It's sometimes just fun talking to you guys. I will be honest. Sometimes it's a lot more fun just chit chatting with my favorite peeps. If you are crafting, please let me know because I know there was talk earlier in camp about like printing things out, getting ready for the Late Night Crafty Club, things that I'm going to work on during the show. So let me know in the chat what you're working on. It doesn't have to be camp related because some of you are not in camp. So let me know, what did you decide to do tonight? It doesn't have to be crafting. Some of you might be doing the dishes or making dinner. Some of you might be laying there with a glass of wine and your feet up because it's been a long week. So let me know what you up to. What are you doing? Lisa Starkweather just signed up for my emails. Lisa, I'll be right on it. I'll be sending you something great. By the way, I am going to be sending out a new freebie when people sign up. I'm going to be sending out a new freebie. I am doing a bingo for the Reset Girl. It's for the I'm not going to use the clip and snip. That's the Late Night Crafty Club newsletter one. I'm going to put it on the Cozy Creative. So I'm going to be doing the bingo prompt sheet like I have done in the past. It's going to be kind of dovetailing with my new secret project. So that's going to become a freebie that goes out every 3 months because it goes along with that project. So whether you choose to participate or not, that'll just be something that I send out every 3 months with the beginning of a new season. And you can use it to craft along with me here on the Late Night Crafty Club, or use it to craft with us in the membership inside the clubhouse, or on your own. It's just a nice little sheet of prompts that kind of prompts you into like doing stuff. Stuff is fun. So there's that. All right. So what are you guys up to? Because it might be more exciting than what I'm up to right now. Because I feel like what I'm doing is procrastinating. Okay, so let's see. Robin, thank you so much for always opening my emails. So Margaret is cutting and trimming. Sherry is crafting and making a very pretty journal. Jan is... she's working on something. I'm not sure what. Chris says sipping and listening. Rachel's saving and printing. Kelly is I'm working on a mini book, finally using my own printables. You go, girl. You have cute printables. Lauren says she's crafting, getting my camp pocket pages on. A little obsessed because pocket pages are they're obsession worthy. Yes, they are. As a fellow girl of obsession, I concur. Melissa says that I'm working in my Scrapbook Scout. Duh. She didn't say duh. I said that. Justine says I've been pulling weeds. So now's the time to play. Georgia says I'm scrapbooking family memories. Margaret says also enduring hot flashes. Oh, Margaret, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, girl. Janice says I started doing diamond painting for a self-care activity for camp, and I'm addicted. You know, I love watching people do that. I've seen it on YouTube, but I think doing it like myself, I think that would be, I thought it through. I think it would be, yeah, I think it's more fun for me to watch. I'll watch you though. Maybe you should start doing that on a channel. But I'm glad that you're addicted, Janice, in the best way. That's a good thing to be addicted to. And I'm glad that you started that camp inspired you to start something that was self-care. That's wonderful. Robin says, I'm just listening. Lisa says, I'm working on my journal and a planner for the upcoming months. Kim says, I'm crafting. Jan says, oh, that should read needlework. It's because your hands were going too fast with the texting. I've been trimming honeys on sticker paper for my sticker book. Good night, Darlis. Shelly K says, pages in my junk journal. Lucy says, I'm working on my Wonder Years project. Tons of great stories of when I was a teen. I've never shared with my family. I will this year. Lucy, that's wonderful. Isn't that fun that now that you have it complete, you'll be able to actually share it with your family because you'll have fun pages. Shelly says, I did one spread in my Bible journaling rings and will be moving to my Camp Scout to do a second pocket page tip-in. Awesome. Carrie says, I'm creating menus for a brunch I'm hosting on Sunday. How fun. Margie says, I have been reorganizing my craft room, cutting down scraps into common sizes and sorting into sizes instead of colors. Margie, I was watching somebody on YouTube do that. Like she spent the whole video just cutting her papers up. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, is this a video that people would actually enjoy watching? Like literally watching someone just cut up all their paper. I mean, I forwarded it towards the end, but I was just curious if people really enjoy that. But yeah, she cut up all her paper and then she sorted it into color groups. And that was the entire video. And it had a lot of views. I was impressed. Ellen says, just chatting. Kim says, I'm down to my last 4 pages in my journal. Way to go, Kim. Jen's hunting for a glue stick right now. They've all walked away. Margie says, I've had to rearrange everything so the computer would be somewhere I could easily see. Jen says, I'm also enjoying tea and a piece of homemade bread. That sounds wonderful. Giselle says, I'm adding pockets and tabs to my Scrapbook Scout and having a glass of wine. You go, girl. DC says, just watching and hanging out with my dogs. What kind of dogs do you have? Denise says, I went to a card making retreat tonight for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and I have another one at 9:30 in the morning. So hubby and I are camping out in a hotel in South Carolina. Well, that's fun. You're doing another little adventure with your hubby. Kathleen says, I'm organizing my fall planner items. Sherry says, printing from Pinterest. Chris says, Chris Down Under is saying, collecting supplies for my flower pounding course tomorrow. Flowers are going to get the pounding of a lifetime. Sandra says, I'm coloring in my Bible. Karen says, I'm in my Scout working on more pages. So there's a lot of productivity going on, is what I'm reading. The majority of you are busy. Penny, oh, sorry, she was saying something to somebody else. Lucy says, yes, the fam is going to be so surprised about all my stories. I can't wait. Penny says, I'm trying to lick the final licks of my watermelon sucker. How many licks did it take to get to the center? We all want to know. The world wants to know. Jen was successful in finding her glue sticks. Will she have a glue stick down tonight? The world may never know. All right. All right. Okay. Now, I think part of my problem is I need the right pocket page, and I keep coming up short. So that's part of the problem. I think that is what actually a big part of this issue is I don't have the right pocket. And when one does not have the right pocket, one cannot make the right pages. Yes, that is the case. That is what is happening here. It's the last night of camp. Well, it's not the last night of camp. You can still be in camp. You can run around. You can go skinny dip. You could go skinny dipping at camp right now and nobody would know. If you are a woman who would never go skinny dip in real life, you can go skinny dip at Camp Reset. Make a page. This will be your one chance to do it and say you did it. Because how could they prove it? How could they prove you didn't? How does one get caught skinny dipping at a make-believe camp? I ask you. If you are a person who's always followed the rules, you've always been a good girl, here is your chance. Do something. Break the rules tonight. Miss Screwnecker. I have it on good authority that Miss Screwnecker has stepped out for the evening. Dang it. Literally have not seen a single thing from Miss Screwnecker. Not one time. And I don't even know, like the last hour. And as soon as I say that, okay. It's not like she's like a real entity that was spying on me. I mean, it is, after all, easy to catch me. There you go. There you go, Donna. That solves the problem. Donna's mini-me's are going to go skinny dipping. And apparently, YouTube found that to be possibly offensive because it hid your comment. Oh, so. Right, Margaret, I picture you doing that with your fist raised. Grunecker. Okay. Donna says she's finishing up her Scrapbook Scout. There you go. Margie says there's another one that would shock future generations when they find our Scrapbook Scout. And you confess to going skinny dip at the make-believe camp, right? Mom, you went skinny dipping? Who are you? There you go. All right. This picture, I got to tell you, this picture is just beautiful. I have a hard time. I just have a hard time believing this is AI. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm wondering if I'm remembering it like somebody put a comment under there saying it was AI, or if Pinterest, because Pinterest puts this little note on photos and it'll say AI modified. That it will identify a photo that way. And I'm trying to remember, because I'm just, seriously, I just want to crawl into this photo and live. It is just, it's Lasai. And I'm just, if it is, it is. Maybe it's the lanterns are unusual. I don't know. But let's just be here. Let's just go here. Let's just go sit here. Let's sit there and let's sip mocktails and what can I sip these days? Nothing sounds good. Okay. Deb says, no, they'll read Mini Me and think the kids went skinny dipping. Blame it on the kids. The kids. It was them. I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. There you go. That's kind of interesting. Is it though? Not really. Let's keep working. So no, that's not. It's 7:45 and I have produced nothing of value here. I have produced nothing. No scrapbooking of any kind. What can I say about this? Well, I have to be honest. When I came to sit down in here, I have to say, like, I didn't really think about, like, do I feel creative? Do I feel crafty? Do I have a plan in my head what I'm going to do? Did I think it through? Did I have something? Not really. Sometimes it just comes to me, and then tonight I don't know. I could have this Camp Thunderhead boy brushing his teeth. Look, she's checking him out. Just making sure he's got good form. She's like, you missed a spot. Oh, this is the home ec book that I don't really want to tear up because it's the good one. Pillowy muffins that have lots of... They're airy. Light and airy. Cute little baby. Gift wrapping can be a family project. Wrapping gifts. Even that is covered in this home ec textbook. How to wrap a gift. I'm telling you, this textbook, this is a solid book showing hospitality to the unexpected guest. There are many activities that can be enjoyed by all the family, both indoors and outdoors, no matter what the ages of the members. And then here's some kinds of family games. Sharing family friends, learning more about ways to have fun in the family. Look, puzzles. I love puzzles. But look, learning more about getting along with elderly people. See, now we are becoming the elderly people. We're marching forward. See, it used to be that people would teach you. They taught kids to do stuff like this. Isn't that amazing? Helping older people in the family, changes that accompany old age. Look at this dachshund. Look at that. It's about these are about doing chores. Look at that dog. I feel like he's giving the side eye. Donna says this camp has been so fun this year, and I really needed a good way to take a break from all the stuff I've been dealing with in real life. That is what Camp Reset is for. It is a little sanctuary from the real life. It's a little sanctuary. It is a protected little sanctuary where it's just the good times. Darlene says, I bought some vintage fishing school booklets from an antique bookstore once. I got all 5 volumes of the mail-in order books. How fun. Right, Lisa? I agree. This is the Teen Guide to Homemaking. I have 2 versions of this. I have two versions of this textbook. I was trying to see if I could see the other one. The other cover is different. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not it. Okay, the other one is different. So this is the good version. I would, if you saw this one, I got it on eBay. This is the one. They all have this title, and you'll see them from different years, different eras. They have them. This has been the name of it for a long time, but this particular one I really like. I have another one with a different cover, and it's the same, approximately the same year, but it is slightly different inside. Anyway, this is a really great book. I actually am really impressed with all the stuff that it covers. Like if I had had this, I don't remember us getting nearly as good a book when I had home ec. And the only thing I genuinely remember doing in home ec was just learning how to cook. We had to cook all different kinds of meals and get graded on it. I don't remember any of this. I don't remember learning, this stuff. But I don't remember learning stuff about like family life and, like life skills or anything like that. This whole deal. Like I took a separate sewing class in 8th grade, but this whole thing about relationships and just life skills, like how to decorate your room, how to take care of your room, food, it definitely is a big component of it. They even show you how to like read the labels of cans, how to go shopping, how to judge meat, how to look at the meat. I bet there was a lot more of talking to the butcher back then. So anyway. Yeah, Lisa says, I only remember baking in that class. Yeah, we baked and we made meals. But yeah, me too. I don't remember anything that covers stuff like this. So this is a really cool book. I feel like I would actually learn a lot. Maybe I'll be a better wife. And not like I have no children or grandchildren. I mean, I have a child, but it's an adult child. So all of that is, I don't have any children, so no one to practice on. Outdoor families. Anyway, this guides for wrapping gifts, sharing family resources, caring for baby, understanding children, making a backrest, helping with the patient, care of the sick room, making a bed table, use a heavy cardboard carton, and you can make a bed table. This is like see, you had to be a lot more resourceful back then. Making a footrest. Now you could just order this on Amazon, but back then, use a cardboard box. I remember, do you guys remember the joy of a cardboard box when you were a kid and all the things you could make with a cardboard box? Making a waste disposal bag. So there's a whole first aid thing in here. Then there's more recipes and stuff. Rebecca says, I had a separate class that included life skills. We had a pretend marriage. I learned a lot my senior year of high school. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took this home ec and I didn't take it senior year. But look, grooming. How to manicure your nails. Pointers on foot comfort. See, the reason why I have this book is because I wanted to incorporate this. I had a whole bunch of other, believe it or not, I had other workshops planned. And I wanted to do a workshop on, so we had the Camp Couture. So I was going to, the Charm School. So there was going to be a different version of Charm School. It was going to be a workshop and it had to do with stuff like this. So there was going to be this aspect of like, I can't remember now because it was so long ago, but when I originally conceptualized it, it was a lot more of like things like this. And it had a much more home ec-y kind of flavor to it. So it was very impressive. Really cool book. Bread cereal group. Thermos fillers, pack lunches. Look at them riding their little bikes. So healthy. Clothes to mix and match. What to consider in buying a dress. That it fits. That it's comfortable. When I took home ec in the 80s, we learned how to sew and cook. Anyone remember the Camp Beverly Hills sewing patterns? No, Camp Beverly Hills. Do you mean like the movie Camp Beverly Hills? Or was that a name brand, Camp Beverly Hills? Joanne says, I would learn to make cookies in home ec, but go home and cook dinner for a family of 5. They didn't prepare you very well. I still to this day look at the wrapping paper that surrounds my many Amazon purchases and try to figure out a way to recycle it. Yeah, some of the Amazon packaging stuff that they give us, that craft paper wrapping, that stuff is like, oh, what can I do with this? This feels like craft paper. Bye, Ellen. Good night. Good night. Yes, Margaret says, oh my gosh, I did everything with the boxes. Penny says, we had a class trip to a furniture store and had to fill a make-believe home with furniture on a budget. Oh, that sounds fun. Justine says, you know how many times I've Googled how to pick a melon? I could have used this. Oh, goodness. Donna says, I have a stack of home repair books in the attic. They are awesome. Yeah, my dad, he's big on home repair. So he had a library of those type of books too. Hi, Michelle Massey. I don't, you need a child relationship of adult to child instruction. You and me both. You and me both. Let's we need a group for that. Okay. So, okay. Oh, so it was a line of sweatsuits, athletic wear from McCall's. Oh, no, I don't remember that. No, I don't remember the Camp Beverly Hills sewing patterns. Interesting. And I definitely, I frequented the sewing patterns in the 80s, like in the latter part of the 80s, just because I did know how to sew and I did sew some things. By that time in my personal life, like in my last 2 years of school, it was trendy, like for like my little friend group was to go to the thrift store and get stuff and modify it. Like I was always looking for like Bobby Brady t-shirts and modify them and then sew stuff, because there was a lot of things I couldn't stand in the store, in the mall stores. But I do not remember that brand. One thing I do have here, I was showing this. This is something I had on my Pinterest board. Is there a camera above me? Oh, okay. So this was a picture that I saved from my Pinterest board that somebody made a meme out of these horrific jumpsuits. Now, when I look at them in the pattern, I do recall this being a style. I do not at my school, I do not remember a lot of people wearing these. Like a handful maybe. Like one of my personal friends, she did wear this type of jumpsuity thing. Like I do remember this. I would have rather died than wear that. And This is awful. I just can't believe that this was a thing that grown girls would wear that. That looks like a little toddler outfit. And it's for teen girls. So anyway, oh my. They look like teen girls. Maybe they're older. Who, right? What were they thinking indeed? And that's a good, right? Are those shoulder pads? I didn't even question that when I first looked at it. I think those are shoulder pads. Oh my goodness. That's even worse. That's even worse. What is this? What is that on their chest? What is that thing called? What is that piece of fabric? Is that, see, I was going to say peplum, but I think a peplum is what goes around the waist, right? Or can it be more than one thing? Deb's calling it a bib. Oh, yeah. Right? Is that what, I mean, that makes sense that it would be called that, but oh my Lanta. What year is that from? So what I would say, I don't have a year printed on it. It's like, it's an actual pattern and someone just put the meme text on it. I'm going to put this in the mid to late 80s because I'm going to put it mid-ish 80s to the late 80s. Only because I know that's when I went to junior high school. And I remember my girlfriend, Sarah, she wore one very similar to that. Now she was like, not a, like, you know how you can have friends in a different type of friend group? Now I did not dress like this, just for the record, let it be known. I did not dress this way. But she did. And so that's why when I saw this, I was like, oh my Lanta, I did not remember it being this horrific. So, but they did this to us. A giant. So you guys were just going with collar. I feel like it looks more like a bib. Looks like a big napkin. Hi, Nancy. A ginormous collar. Good night, Margie. Yeah, I think that's just so wrong on a million different levels. All right. I'm right back to where I was. Okay. I have to do at least something. I have to do something. I must, and I will. I shall, and I must. So what do I do when I feel like I can't get started? Sometimes. Okay, so a lot of times pocket pages help me get unstuck because they're like really simple to just like get going with. Right now, I feel like I'm a little stuck. Why is that? Because right now I feel like I just want to talk to my friends. And so here's a couple ideas. So I had this picture. This was from one of the printables I gave you in your kit. And this was like, I could tell a story. Was from my rock painting session. Oh, and by the way, I did end up, I know no one will remember this, and that's fine. I did go and buy a smaller Posca pen. It has like a needle tip type of paint tip. When I went to do my rock painting session last Late Night Crafty Club, the rock that I did, this today ended up being thick, and I did not like that because I liked the original rock that I painted from, and it was much better. It was thinner. So that one ended up much skinnier. So that is the oh, good night, Rebecca. Hi, Justine. I am looking for my clover. Okay. Oh. See, the last Late Night Crafty Club, I was far more productive. Can we just be reminded of how I was productive last time? See, I did make stuff last time. So I did my Hello Summer, I did my little moon rock, and I did Find Your Joy Today. All three of these are based on rocks that I found on Pinterest. So I thought it would be fun to recreate them. And I just wanted to repair that one today. And I did. I did. And I gotta tell you, I love the rock painting. And that was what was so neat about camp this time, is I have not seen this many rock painters. That's another thing. In the past, I do not remember so many people taking on the rock painting challenge, the rock painting badge. I know personally this was the first time I ever did rock painting, and I think I saw a few people say the same thing, that they had never attempted it before. And so that was really neat. And I was really impressed with not only how many people tried it and did it, how many people loved doing it, how many people produced like really cute rocks. Like everybody that made rocks, they were really happy with themselves. And I love it. If people did rocks and didn't share, I don't know, obviously, but I was really happy that so many people shared their rock painting. Justine said, it's addictive. It is. I agree. Once I started painting last time, I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. I see why so many people like doing it. And here's what I would say. And I don't know what everyone was using to do their rocks, but for me, what made it feel addicting and felt so good was using a paint pen, because this is the most comfortable way of working with it, is feeling like you're drawing on it and it's literally paint. These paint pens are magical. They work so beautifully. They're inexpensive. They dry well. I mean, they're like, I see why everyone is taking up rock painting. So, that had a lot to do with it for me personally. I probably wouldn't have loved it as much if I had been trying to do all that with a brush. In the past, when I have done like the mini-me's using the brushes, they were a little more challenging to do with to do that. Hold please for 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna see if my mini-me's are in here. They are. Okay, some of them are in here. They're all in here. They need an update on their hair color. I'm gonna have to repaint them. But so when I did these for the mini-me adventure, I'm thinking that like I want to give them a try painting them again with the paint pens, like doing the details on them, because I bet they would be a lot easier this time, doing them with some of you have your little mini-me's, and you've put like a great detail into their like their accessories and their little clothing. I mean, I've seen some of them that are like really impressive. So like here's easier to hold less of them in my hand. So like I did put different hairstyles on them, but clearly my hair, I have changed up my hair, so I need to darken up their little heads. And I use stickers on their clothes to give them clothes and stuff. So I'm going to go and try to do, like, I gave them highlights and lowlights. So I'm going to do all this with my with the little paint brushes, or sorry, the little paint pens. So I'm going to do this over again and see what it's like. Also, when I do this, I'm going to do it better, because these never quite, whatever I did them with, like tried to finish them with, it never quite sealed properly. They're always like, they're never sealed. I don't know. They're always a little sticky. Anyhow, so the mini-me adventure, which is probably the one of the projects I'm most proud of, that particular workshop, that one is going to go onto the Teachery workshop platform. And that way you will have access to it again. You can purchase it, and then you'll have it forever. And then you can be, if you've never gotten to experience the mini-me adventure, then you'll be able to make an army of mini-me's for all of your camp adventures going forward, all of your vacations, all of your fun little trips that you take. They're really fun. They're fun to have. That was the whole reason why I had them, is because as a single person, before I was married, I didn't have anyone to take pictures of me. And it was really before the era of like selfies, and selfies are not really a fun way to take pictures of yourself anyway. So I basically came up with the idea of having a stand-in, and I would start photographing it to like for myself to stand in like in the landscape, or, you know, when I went places. And after a while, I realized this is so much fun taking pictures of this little figure that represents me. And it would be so much fun. I would forget how awkward I felt being alone, going places, because I was trying to like become more comfortable being alone and going out in public. This is the era of trying to be the reset girl for the first time back in 2008. So this was one of my little fun adventures that I was kind of like easing myself into, kind of dating myself and like doing fun little things, trying to get out of the house and, you know, do stuff. And so that was how I came up with this idea. And at the time I didn't make my own mini me's. I actually had somebody paint. I bought them from Etsy, and she painted it to look like the little branding I had. If you'll notice, it looks very similar to my Sammy. Not Sammy. Francie, my original girl. So this was like the original little girl I had. So I had her, she's dressed up in a like a little apron with a little mixing spoon. I had her in like different outfits and stuff. And so, yeah, that's how she started out. And then one day I was like, you know, it'd be really fun to have people make little mini me's for camp. And that's what we did. So Karen is watching, but she can't be in the chat. So Karen, I mentioned earlier in the live stream, I don't know if you were with us then, but I gave you a shout out for all of your amazing posting. And I think the tabulation for my network says that you had 133 posts. That's how much you contributed to the platform. So thank you very much for being all over the place and posting so much content and inspiration. And so it was really wonderful. You were definitely an MVP. Mwah. Thank you very much. I'm going to have to make a Scout peg doll. I will indeed. Okay, so but good night, Christy. Probably missed her too. So it looks like we have almost all, I see all the Aussie girls all lined up here. What time is it in Australia? Carrie, you are still painting rocks? How fun. Send me a picture of some of your rocks you've done. Good night, Sandra. Deb says, I found a new way to give them away. Invite friends over and hide them in the backyard. Like an Easter egg hunt. I've hid some rocks. Go find them. Hi, Diana. She definitely was, Chris. She was definitely an inspiration in camp. It is 1 p.m. in Australia, so it's a decent time. It's 1 p.m. Saturday. So you guys are in the future. Okay. I've been here before. This has happened before where I've spent time on the Late Night Crafty Club and have managed to do one page or no pages. Those nights have happened before. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm having the last tea party at 1 p.m. in the Explorers Lounge. The last time we gather in the Explorers Lounge. The last tea party we shall have. So be there or be square. And if you can't be there and you have to watch a replay, you have until September 30th to watch the replay, because all that content Explorer's Lounge. It's all going away. It's like a big wrecking ball is coming through. Okay, not a wrecking ball. That's a little too violent. So it's like a bunch of, like a bunch of construction is coming through the clubhouse, and it's tearing down some walls, but we've been building some new fresh walls and putting up new fresh rooms and ushering in new spaces. Okay. So, I wanted to do something with it. Now, where is... Let's just put that in there. Let's do the time warp. Let's grab this. If you have not joined me before and you thought I was going to be doing amazing things on a show called the Late Night Crafty Club, apparently this was just not my best effort. This was not my best effort as far as my late night craftiness goes. I don't know. Maybe I'm better off doing some rock painting. Maybe I am. Because I am not... I just yawned.
That pattern was from the 90s.
That's what that says. But I know for a fact my friend wore those type of that jumpsuit type thing in 1987, because she was a senior. They may not have been balloony, but maybe it wasn't as balloony as that. But I don't agree with that at all. Let's do the time warp. Okay. Oh man, I should have got more pink on that one. Good night, Georgia. Okay, so you know what it is? I feel like my brain is so tired. I think I am just not able to craft it out tonight. Now, this black, for the record, if I wanted to use like a white pen, this might be a way of adding journaling. If I like wrote in a kind of like a ring around here, just a thought. That might be a cool way to write. Another thing is like this little kind of bursty action. This would be another fun way of adding detail, which I did in another page that had this kind of starbursty look, like right here. So the same kind of dealio. Works on one, do it on another. You guys, on Monday, it is not this Monday, next Monday, it's officially fall. Wait, no, I'm sorry. It is this Monday. I'm like, hang on. No, it is this Monday. Monday is officially fall. It is officially fall. It is officially fall. Does it count if I just did one journal card? I think I shall write song lyrics on there once I think of some. I can't ever think of anything brilliant when I'm on the camera. Do 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 do. It's 4:20 in the AM in the UK. Claire, poor Claire, you have to show up at some really, or stay up some really late. You truly are in the Late Night Crafty Club, Claire. You definitely hold it down. You and Victoria end up having to be truly in the late night. So does our Nova Scotia friend and our Prince Edward Island friend. I think you guys win the Late Night Crafty Club. Okay, so that's fun. There, I crafted. I crafted at the Late Night Crafty Club. I did. So I thought I would be excited to do. What did I think I was excited to do? I thought I would be excited to do my pages. But I just feel my brain is so tired right now. I don't know. I feel like I keep yawning. That's not helpful. Okay. What are these? Dot size. Are these metallics? Metallic. These are not metallics. Those are regular. But there's a gold and a silver in here. If I can find it. That looks like a gold. And that looks like my silver. Okay. Okay, so this is what I was thinking I would do. Is I was thinking since I didn't do a ton of stuff in my camp album, and I was thinking that I didn't want to have spent all this, effort on getting it all fabulous and stuff, and then it feels like not a lot of stuff went in there. I have two options next year. I can just put a divider in it and say, okay, from this point forward, because there's nothing in here that says this is 2025. Like, I don't even think that says 2025. So I could add 2025 here and then make another divider that looks like this, and then just kind of like stick it in here and then make a new section for the next year. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I would just feel like I could have added more. I'm not sure though. I'm not used to making such a small book, because my book does feel slightly on the small side compared to what I normally do. That was what I did on the here. Let's do a little flip through, because I did do stuff on a couple pop-ups and that were not public, they were private. So then you wouldn't have known. Can we zoom out a little bit? Because I feel like we're zoomed a lot in. Can we zoom out? Can we zoom out? Okay. Thank you. right. Justine says, I didn't realize fall is Monday. It's almost like Christmas. I know it is. It is. Okay. So, so here's our page, my page 1. There's my, actually went out and ate somewhere and did something. Oh, this was from my work shop weekend where I needed to have food, and it was not 34 cents, more like $37 for one sandwich. You think I am kidding. There's Jim and Vera. These are the caretakers of Camp Reset when we all go home, that they are the ones staying together. And they knew each other in high school. So there they are. And that's their little cabin that they stay in. Jim and Vera. That's a receipt. I didn't label that. So now I'm not sure what I was thinking. I kind of forgot to finish this. So there we are. So here's a cute little, so here's one of the freebies that I gave everybody on my newsletter list. This was like the first thing I gave back in April when I was first teasing Camp Reset, was this little mood board. So this was one of my freebies that I gave my newsletter peeps. And I made this cute little mood board. So I shrunk mine down and I put it in my pocket. And then I made this little fabulous, very simple little girl. It's not really that much crafting there. And then I made a little lemon loaf, lemon pocket, another little tea. And there's the laundry room at Camp Reset. And then there's the peaches. We ate a lot of peaches. Case of the golden scissors. So, Misty had a whole series that she did in her Scout. Now, it's the only one I saw. So if you saw someone else do it, please let me know. But Misty had a whole like layout after layout of breaking this whole story down. The case of the golden scissors. She had a crime scene. She had like crime scene photos. She had this whole story. Then she had a suspect lineup. And because all the all the shots were all separated, that's the great thing about putting everything together in one post, because then someone can follow it along. I didn't know it was part of a series. So all I came across was a picture of the suspects. So I thought her story was that these were the campers that got caught at Camp Reset for some shenanigans, got arrested, and now they're part of a suspect lineup. So it turns out it was just one piece of the whole story. So I was a little embarrassed because I left a little smart alecky joke. Okay, so here's Mildred. Do you remember our camp llama? Here's Bub, this was our little camp doggy, my camp doggy this time. And that was where I slept. Not the whole time. I meant to build this whole grand cabin with a little private little pool in the back. It was going to be great, but that's where I ended up sleeping this time because I couldn't get past it. But of the pages I did make, I think that one's a really cool picture. I love the white dot outline around here. So this is kind of where I was like, see, there's like some stuff I did that is like, it was just like, it feels like it was filler instead of being something that was awesome. There's my camp bathroom. No. So the camp stuff, everything in camp ends on Sunday. What I was talking about for the 30th has to do with members who are explorers. The explorers membership, they have access to their content until the 30th. But the camp access ends to Sunday. So Sunday night it is done. And I left a post inside of the camp mailbox to explain all that. So if you did not see that, I would read that just to double check. So you're not just relying on what I'm saying, because I wrote everything out very thoughtfully. Sometimes when I say things here, I'm just like, la, 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 la. So go read that version of Corey's, Oh, so I didn't just make that up. Look, I really did label that Jim Jim and Vera in their little cabin. I mean, I was just joking when I said that. There's Jim and Vera's cabin. But apparently I really had assigned that to them. So there they are. And then so I did this little page, that the flip-flop versus thongs, can't think of the word. It's not a challenge. A flip-flop versus thongs. What, I can't think of what you call that. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, Thrifty's ice cream, a little story. Did that page. I did this, and then I did that. So those all happened on live streams. And then that's it. See, so this would be a hard stop on what I did in camp. So as you can see, because I changed the format of camp, this is what happened. Corey did not make a giant, luscious junk journal. This is what happens when I don't show up and teach a lot of crafting. I learned this about me. So if I am not called to duty to be like, I'm going to teach this and this, I didn't assign myself a lot of crafting classes. I asked Miss Kelly, we discussed what kinds of things I would like her to do, because Kelly's so versatile. I'm like, so Kelly, can you do this? Can you do that? So I had a wish list of what kinds of things I wanted Kelly to do. And so she did them plus bonus stuff. So that left me to do more talking stuff, which clearly I'm more of a talker. And so I did the talking type classes. And so now we can see what happens when you do not assign me the work. I guess I do not choose to do it. So any of you who were feeling bad that you did not feel like you did very much, look, behold, your camp director didn't do very much either. And what you do see, this is represented. This is literally, including tonight, this is literally like 13 hours of live streaming. And that's all that I did. That's still, because I did 8 hours of live streaming in camp. That was the last day of the retreat. I did 8 hours. Then I have done 2 pop-ups, and each of those was at least 2 hours. Okay, so that's 12. I'm going on 2.5 right now. I've done another, that was rock painting. So yeah, at least, I'll just say 13, at least 13. And look, that's all I have to show more. So don't feel bad. Do not feel bad, because that's yeah, it is what it is. What are we going to do? Hi, Mrs. Michelle Spencer. It is the Late Night Crafty Club for you. But you're in a different time zone. Okay. So anyway, I didn't do a lot compared to my past camps. That's all I'm saying. So it does feel like I didn't do much, because I'm just looking at the past, and there we go. Debate. Yes, Michelle Massey, thank you very much. That was the word I was trying to think of. Debate. Thank you very much. You just close that loop. Ah, it's a gnat. A gnat. So anyway, so I was thinking I would do a rock, because then I will feel like I did something crafty on the Late Night Crafty Club, and I lived up to the name, and I didn't bring shame upon my channel. I know some of you are probably falling asleep, or it's only 8:30 here, but yet it feels so much later than that. Okay, so it turns out that I guess I didn't have it in me to do pages like I thought that I would. I'm not feeling it, and I can't force myself. So Deb says, I found my book wasn't as fluffy due to not having as many chunky details, as they don't go in the pocket. That's a thing too, is sometimes the fluffiness comes with the type of materials. To that point, you guys remember the junk journal I made, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it was this thick. The one I had to put on washi rings for rings. One of the reasons it was so thick, to your point, is it did have a lot of very fluffy materials in it. There was, cardboard, there was bubble wrap, there was astroturf, there was like a lot of unusual things in there that did happen to be fluffy. Hi, Nicole. We are working on physical products. And when I say that, what I mean is we bought a new machine that is very unique in the craft space. And we're test running some entirely new products, some new things. So, so new stickers and new things. So, that would be something that, we are going to offer physical products again. We do have a lot of products in storage to make up things like collage kits, art journaling kits. So there's like some kit products. There's kits from like the TRG universe. We have them sitting back there. I actually have like, do you guys remember Retreat? So when we had the Retreat collection, that was from 2018. And I have little kits from that camp, little bitty kits, and I have little meaningful kits. But we just could not get our act together and get those up on the thing, up on the website. So we failed you. But I appreciate you asking, and hopefully it will be shortly. When I say shortly, hopefully we will start producing, I would love to say in the next 3 months, within the next 3 months, we would have new stuff. Because the machine that he's testing, you guys are going to die when you see this. This machine has the most crazy cutting ability. So you know how most of the stickers you buy, whether it's on Etsy, whether it's on Amazon, in the sticker books, whenever you buy stickers, they always have a bleed around them. They have like a white edge, or they have an edge around them. This machine there's no edge. It literally cuts along the outline of the design. It's crazy. I've never heard of this product. So I don't really remember how Mark came across it, but he ended up buying one, and now we have one, and it's not petite and small like our other ones. So it's taking up a lot of my precious real estate. But when I see how it can cut and it can eliminate that white outline, which is the bane of existence for most. If you use stickers in a planner, most of the time that's not a big deal because you're sticking it on a white page. But if you are wanting to layer your stickers like in collaging and like doing it more artistically, it's annoying to see those white outlines on everything. So imagine being able to peel a honey off and there's no white outline. I feel like I hear Mark. I feel like I hear him. Oh, he can't find them. Oh, is it because I have them? Is it because you gave them to me? If you gave them to me, that was your first mistake, sir.
Some point.
Because I cannot. You know what's funny? For two people who live in such a small space, you would think that we would never lose anything, because where could you lose it? You guys live in such a small space. You'd be amazed at the amount of time we spend looking for stuff. All the time. All the time. I do believe I have them. I do have them. Well, I would love to show them because it's amazing. I mean, as a sticker consumer, I've personally never seen anyone sell stickers that are like this. I just need to think about, see, the problem is when I get ready for the late night, I'm like tidying up. I'm just thinking about moving stuff off. I'm not really thinking about like, where does this make sense for future Corey to find this? And now I'm paying the price. I'm paying the piper. The piper has come for his paycheck. And it's terrible too, because I can totally picture it in my mind. Like I can imagine exactly what the sheets look like and everything. It's 2 sheets of paper and the sheet of honeys. And I'm going to peel off the honey and it's going to have no white outline. It's just the honey. Can you imagine, you guys? No white outline around a honey. Oh, so it is not Penny. It's not any of the name brand machines. Do you prefer your stickers with a white border or with no white border? No border, 86%. Shocking. It's shocking. You know what, though? One thing I have come to like, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, but I have come around to really liking the washi stickers. Some of the washi stickers I've come to be okay with. Because, you know, their little border they have is not terrible, because at least washi is a little bit more translucent, and it's not that harsh white outline. So anyway, so yeah, honeys are, they're not as much fun to fussy cut. It takes a long time. So but I understand, especially when you girls are down in Australia, that's the shipping and stuff is crazy. So all right, sorry. Gotten I'm getting lost in my thoughts again. Okay, so what am I doing? I just need to find I put my phone to the side and I just wanted to grab a rock to paint a rock. One of the rocks that I think is so cute is the little, because to me it's like one of the easier things to paint, is the little, okay, I guess I don't get a top down camera. It's okay, I've moved on. Okay, so I'm just looking for oh, look how cute little family is. There's an avocado. So right now, as I'm looking at my little, oops, not you. I'm looking at my rocks. Do you guys do that too? It's like sometimes you look at the rock to decide what kind of rock are you? What kind of personality do you have? Which one, what makes sense? How to prepare rocks for painting. I probably should have watched that or read that article. I just jumped in. Usually I'm not a jumper inner. I'm usually someone who needs to do a lot of research. I need to go study the art of rock painting and get my degree in it before I will start it. But no, this time that's funny. A rock that says you rock. Be safe, be kind. There's a cute one with a little otter face. That sounds funny. It sounds like a insult, you otter face. Right, Jen? Way to be wild. I roll. There is, oh, look at that cute little hedgehog rock. Is that not adorbs? Wouldn't that be so cute? That's really cute. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's adorable. There's one with a little lantern. I feel like there's a lot of little Halloween type ones. That one's really cute. The little ghost. He's like a little friendly ghost, but his shadow. This is the one I was trying to show you. I just think that one is really cute. He just looks like a little Charlie Brown figure. Very, very simple. So yeah, it's coming down to like, what is very simple? How do I redeem myself? There's a chicken. Can I draw a chicken? Bye, Sherry. Okay, so this one feels like it wants to be like a word. And this one is rounded at the top, so it's curvy. So it's not flat, but it could be a face or something. So I think, isn't that kind of like what you would want to do, is find the right shape for your rock? Some of these don't even seem like they're real. They feel like, oh, that's totally my style. Oh, look, see? This is what Pinterest does right here. It says AI modified. So when it thinks the picture has been modified, that's what it does to the picture. Just fun fact. You've never noticed that. And see, and I would say that those don't look modified to me. Those look like somebody painted them. I mean, they look very what is that style of painting? It's kind of like folk. Oh goodness, how do I make that go away? Stop it. Get off my... Oh goodness. Hide. Apple has paid for this ad to show up, and now they want to punish me because I don't want to look at it. Well, I don't know what just happened because I dared to tell it I don't want to see an ad. It's like they just took over my phone. Okay. Boy, you guys, I'm really failing at hosting this show tonight. Or am I? How about these little... No, those are kind of scary. How about a little kitty? How about a little kitty? How about a turtle? That's like a Hawaiian type turtle. Little bee. I want a happy rock. A little happy. Oh, goodness gracious. See, this is why I was afraid of switching over to a rock. I'm like, well, what if I don't know what to do? I can't. My brain is just not in a place where I can think of something from nothing. Think of something from nothing. So I see some are into the chickens. Lauren says, Corey, I cut up the plastic Dollar Tree mat into photo crops and I'm finding them invaluable. Thanks for sharing the idea. Absolutely. Someone very kind in the community shared the mat idea for using them for covers for the books, which was fantastic. And then that same material was like perfect for the photo crop. And yeah, I just think that was like, if you can't get your hands on a real set of crops, and also they are great for making like the sizes in between. The real crops, the plastic is thicker, so they definitely are more sturdy. Ooh, those are cute. Look at this adorable little spider. Oh, but you know what? This person is selling that rock. I don't want to copy someone who's selling it. That would feel bad. That was funny. Dang it. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's cute. Look at, oh, never mind. But that one's cute. It's like a little kid with braces on their teeth. Did you guys have problems too? How did you guys pick out designs? Did you just like dive in and start painting? because I'm not that kind of girl. I feel like I need a jumping off point. I can't just cold turkey it. I gotta have something to start with. Once I get going, sometimes I can like then, you know, jump to the next vine on my own. But a lot of times I feel like I need a little something, a little movement, little help. That's why Pinterest is so amazing and wonderful, and we love it. Later, Gator. Giant eyeball. Well, I don't know. Boo. That's cute. I'm really digging these little ghosts. They're so cute. They're so adorable. They look so I don't know, like so sweet. I was telling Mark today that when I was in preschool, the very first costume I ever remember wearing was a little ghost, and my mom basically just put like a little sheet, some little square of a sheet on me, and cut out my little eye holes, and that was my costume. And then when I saw Charlie Brown and how he and his pals were ghosts, I think several of them were ghosts. Lucy was the witch. Weren't there 3 ghosts and a witch? Now, as we know, Charlie Brown had the terrible luck of his costume had holes all over because he wasn't very good at his painting or his cutting, not painting, cutting. Sorry, I have painting off the brain. All right. I'm going as like, this is like as basic as I can. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, the mighty have fallen. Painting the easiest thing I could find on Pinterest. It's a little potato, a white potato. Look, it's a ghost. Because I can't think of anything else. It's been a long week. Don't judge me. I am up against a malicious deadline, okay? That clubhouse is not going to turn itself over. That's all I got to say. I got stuff, and then, you know, I have this amazing kit that I have to come up with. So Carrie says, I dove right in. The rock spoke to me. Well, hello. What would you like to be? Speak to me. Speak to me, Goose. Sometimes my mom says that she's amazed how good my memory is. I know, but you know what? If it wasn't as good, I don't know if I would be doing make-believe camp, if I would be doing all the stuff that I do, my shenanigans. I don't know if my memory wasn't as good, if I would be the same person, you know? Because I like bringing up that topic a lot, and I think that it makes for like fun conversations among us, among people that like this channel. So imagine if we didn't have nostalgic conversations among us. All right, all I need is one big white paint pen. I'm gonna make it happen. So this little cutie ghost he's adorable. He's really cute. Some of the other stuff on here is not. I just like this little guy right here. He's adorable. He's like a little potato. He's got his little candy. I don't know. He's probably a little bit harder. I need something even easier than that, probably. What was the one that I said I liked more? There was one better than that. It was even more simple and cuter. It was like, how about that one? It's just like literally a shape like that. It just says boo. All right. Copy a pattern on a favorite paper and write Camp Reset 2025. Make a memory rock. Okay. So like make a pattern on my rock that's my favorite ooh, that's a good idea. How about I just make a pattern I really like on my rock? These are the pins I bought, Kelly, and I'm trying to remember if you told me to make dots with them. If I bought these after you and your dot advice, or after or before or after. See, I'm delirious. I can't even talk right. What's going on? These just showed up. So look, I got Posca pins too, because these are like, you know, the name brand, the bougie pins, in gold and silver. Because I wanted the bougie kind too. Okay, so one of my favorite patterns. I'm completely butchering your advice right now. I'm probably not doing what you're advising me to do. Oh, one thing Mark thought would be a cool idea is the machine has there's a certain kind of paper you can use with it. Picture this, Sicily, 1919. They have, you know, picture it like a washi sticker, but it's, instead of it being sticky, it is the kind that you put. Do you guys remember this type of stuff that you would put in water and it could slip off? Imagine if you could stick that paper on here and it would cling to it because it's wet, you know, and how it would, like, this is a really flat surface right here. If only I could do that right here. And it was a honey rock. Oh my gosh. I wish I knew where that sheet was that he gave me, because she doesn't have any white outline. Okay, give me 1 second. I need to think about it. I need to think about this. 1 second. Okay. I found it. Also, I need to show you guys something. Look what they have. Jim Henson did a collaboration with General Mills and the Frankenberry and Count Chocula and Boo Berry. They did this like cool like Muppet version of them. The cereal is terrible. I only had a little tiny bit of it. But we got it for the packaging because it was so cute. So I'm going to cut him out. He's so adorable. So yeah. So, and then they have this on the back of it. 70 years, a monstrous legacy. I just thought that was so cute. So there's another one that's the, I have all three, but the other one that I had in here was the Count Chocula. Okay, here we are. I found them. So, oh, here's the Boo Berry one. When I was a kid, the Boo Berry was, the box at least, was my favorite. I don't remember ever getting them or getting to eat them because my mom was not one for letting us eat this type of cereal. But I do remember how much I like the boxes. But isn't that so cute? He's my favorite. I just think he looks so adorable. So anyway, I am such a sucker for the packaging. This is why they make this stuff, is for people like me. I'll just buy it for the box. But anyhow, I just thought this was so cute. And certainly somewhere along the line, that would be a cute little junk journal-y thing. Okay, so Justine says in Australia, we can buy washi and vellum sticker paper and the honeys look so good printed on them. I wonder if we have washi paper that we can do that with. Now I'm intrigued. Okay, so here's the sticker paper. These honeys have been cut with that machine, and the white frame has been pulled off, and look, they have no white border. They are borderless. Can you imagine pulling a honey off? And she just looks that amazing. And she's just like, hey, y'all, you can put me on black paper without having to trim me. I'm ready. And then you would just be ready to just go. These are forever fall girls. That almost sounds like Charlie's Angels. So I am going to trim them up here at the bottom so that she can fit this bottom part of the rock a little better. I have no idea like how well this will work. And I also do not know if you can get like the Mod Podge to seal this over, even if I can get the sticker to stick. Well, the Mod Podge like literally holds it down. Because if it would, that's pretty freaking cool. Okay. Because her head, there's a curve right here in the rock where it wants to curve up. So anyway, so that is how good that machine cuts. It cut right around that edge. Is that amazing? I wish I could put a crown on her, but I think the curvy edge, I think it's too much for her. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not. Okay, well, I'm just going to Mod Podge over her and we'll see. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, we'll see how good it held. Okay, so let's finish her. Let's finish her off. So, look, I was crafty. I got crafty on the Late Night Crafty Club. I'm getting better and better at singing the entire song. One of these days, I'm going to nail every part of it. That's fun. Now, do I add word? Nope. Now I'm going to have to paint over that. Where's the black? Come sail away, come sail away, come sail. But just like that, look, I made it all disappear. And start all over. Okay.
Clean your brush.
If you don't mind, just so it doesn't dry. Thank you very much. Okay, so this time I'm going to make it with the skinnier. I was thinking I was going to be really fancy. Ooh, I'm going to have the same problem here. Dang it. I just did the same thing. This pen is not as skinny as I have been led to believe. I don't know who led me to believe it. All right. Right? Thank you, Deb. All the way from Australia, you feel me. I appreciate that. Since Mark has my brush, I'm going to use my fingers. This is called Gen X ingenuity right here. We're just gonna rub some dirt on it and take a lap. It was good enough for my ma. It was good enough for me. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to use the skinny pin, this one, because it's these guys say it's a fine tip. That's a lie. It's a fine tip compared to the dot tip, but that's not true. This is like not it's not what I'm looking for. But I got it covered up. And luckily the paint dries really fast, right? Jen says, I finally got some of those cutter bee scissors. They're amazing for fussy cutting honey. They are. And personally, I think that deal where you get 4 pairs of these for $9.95. The only difference is that they don't have the cover. So they're like this. 4 pairs for $9.95. They call them herb cutting scissors. They're the exact scissors. The only difference is the cutter bee, the regular crafting scissor comes with this plastic sheath. But if you are crafting at your desk most of the time and you're not traveling with them, I really, I don't see that's. I think it's better to just have a bunch of, multiple pairs of these are such fantastic scissors. Let me tell you, one of the best things about these is they do not have any serration at all on the blades. So when you cut with them, there's no texture. One of the things I don't care for about Tim Holtz's scissors by Tonic, they have this serration in there that's kind of like, it creates this kind of feel. A lot of us have a sensitivity to, we're more textile people. So it just, it's very unpleasant. I never reach for those scissors because of it. They look like this. Now, mind you, these are fabulous. The way they're designed is fabulous. Like, this is so comfortable. They give you so much space to put your fingers in there and cut. But there's this feeling, you can even see how there's this tiny bit of serration on the edge. Now, can I cut with that? Yes, I can. But if I have a preference of smooth and gritty, there's like a grit to it, I'm going to pick this one. I am. The majority of people probably would not care, and this would not bother them because they sell plenty of these. There's a lot of people who don't mind. Tonic makes fantastic products. Their paper cutters, all their blades. This is a wonderful, wonderful company. I'm not slamming on them at all. But I just don't. It's a little persnickety thing. It's very persnickety. But I have had these for years and years. I love these so much, and they are wonderful. I think every crafter should have fussy cutting scissors in their arsenal, and these are the perfect size. They're wonderful. But if you do any kind of traveling, any kind of taking them somewhere, you probably need to have at least the pair that come with the case, or have some way of covering them if you buy the herb cutting ones that I linked in the camp, because I was just trying to get you a good deal on some scissors. Hi, Angela. Miss Angela, where it is. What time is it? It's like midnight where you are. Okay. Do we have dryness? These are luscious snips. Should I do ASMR? I don't have the right microphone right now. I do have a good microphone for that, but not this one. Jen says, I got the 4-pack because that 4-pack is a bomb deal. Okay. Let's return. We march again. We ride once more. Do I have a dry rock? Oh no. I think I'm tempting fate here. It doesn't feel quite right. I want to put sticky dots on her. I want to do all kinds of things. I want to go back to all my tricks. My one trick pony tricks. It's funny. It's kind of like I don't know. I feel like I have these little. Here, how about I try to do it over here? And also, how am I trying to make my H? Let me ask that question. Hey there, Georgie girl. Maybe this doesn't look as good as I thought it was going to be. You know, some things can look amazing in your mind. Yeah, this pen is so much better for getting a smaller writing. Yes. I'm trying to blot out my fingerprints for my criminal activity later. I'll do some matchy ones. I never get this messy. It's kind of fun. Now I feel like a true artiste. Okay. Okay, well, I did it. And there's that one, and then we got to make the camp reset rock. I remember when rock was young. Like it's the camp reset rock. Like the alligator rock. Alligator rock. Oh my goodness. I need that hook. You know, when they used to in vaudeville, they would take the hook and pull the person off the stage. Before I continue, oh my gosh, Kelly, that's so funny because as soon as you put her sent me the picture of your puppy, I was just like that song. Hey there, Georgie girl. That's so funny. Okay. Okay, if I had that to do over again, I probably would have made the words bigger and had less plus signs. I could fix that. I could just paint over them and fix it, but then there's part of me that doesn't want to fix it. I'm just making up my own music over here. I've just renamed it. It's Alligator Rock. Someone send a memo to Elton. Okay. Oh, Sir Elton. What do I do here? What do I do? Do I do another honey? Do I do 2 honeys? Should I do another honey rock? Do I do a camp reset? That was one question we talked about, was doing a camp reset rock, because I did ask the question. She's one of my favorites. She is wearing the most luscious dress. This color teal looks so good on her. Oh, careful of her neck. Goodness. Okay, so first of all, this rock is very uneven, and uneven surface. Did that actually make you laugh out loud?
Like, right.
Did heated? Oh no, you guys. The paint on my finger just got, look, it's getting attached to the back of the sticker. When paint fights back. I wish I had a Thunderhead boy, but I do not. Oh no. And see, this is the problem is that I'm weakening the bond of the adhesion by putting that paint on it. Okay. Okay. Now, here's the question. What are they looking at each other for? What are they saying? They look happy. They're friends. What are they here to do? They need purpose. Oh gosh, it's Alexa's telling me it's time to take my meds. That tells me this is a time of night where I should be in bed. I'm usually in bed when she's telling me to take my meds. Okay. I know what I want. This is the point of the show where I get out my little gold stars. So I am going to Mod Podge the crud out of these things.
It's probably too late. And there's a white border.
No white borders ever. Yeah, none of those men were worthy of her. So they're just going to celebrate a Galentine's Day, I guess. They're just like two besties. We're just going to go. We're going to a craft party. Ooh. Good night, Chris. I don't know when I lost Chris. There you are. Okay. He's dozing. He's just like, oh gosh. Make it stop. Make the chat stop. Chris is such a supportive husband. Exactly, Margaret. Okay. I'm getting my little stars on here. My little glitter stars. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to make a word strip and put it on here. It's going to have to be pretty small though, because I don't think I can write it on here. There's just not a lot of room to write. The writing is like on the, there's just not a lot of real estate on this rock with them after putting them on it. But I want to put a message, crafty friends make the best friends. I think that would be really cute. Okay. Rachel, I liked the trees and the lantern too. I know which little rock you're talking about. I am so into the little lanterns right now. I was going to pack up this lantern and pack it up. I'm on the fence about that now. Now I'm like, oh, maybe I should keep that out. That little lantern's so cute. And I'm kind of into lanterns. If I pack it up, then I want a different lantern. So I'm like, am I going to buy a different lantern? Like a dark one, like a vintagey kind? I used to have one. You know how they used to have, well, they still do, but you know how they would have like the little colorful ones, like the little red or little blue ones? Back in the 90s, I think yeah, from like the 90s forward, I have been a little antique vintage girl as soon as I like had my own apartment, my own anything. And that was one of the first things that I remember getting was like a little oil, little lantern that you could fill with oil. And I want to say that they started making reproductions of those little lanterns. And at one point you could even get them at Cost Plus, because I had a real one and then I ended up buying a reproduction one. Cost Plus started making like really cool reproduction things. Uh-oh, that's getting a little too matchy for me. Little too matchy. Nope. Nope. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Monday is going to be the greatest day of the year. That's not true. It's not the greatest day of the year, but it's going to be a great day. It's the first day of fall. You know, another type of lantern which would be fun, but is probably a little more awkward in an RV, but the hurricane lamps, the kind that you put oil into. Probably not one that I should have because I cannot be trusted, as you guys know from my past experiences back here. Okay, so all right, so I've basically eaten up all of my real estate now. Crafty friends. I wonder how small I can put the writing. Well, maybe they don't need words. Maybe they just... I don't have a black one of these either. Do I? What do I have? So I have these. I got these ones recently. These are Japanese. These are water-based dye. This is not what I should be using at all. This would be a disaster as soon as I put the Mod Podge on it. Okay, hang on. I just thought of something. So these guys, Tombow makes one water-based pigment ink. That's not it. They make one that's oil-based ink. It's one that you can actually write on washi. It's an oil-based. If I can find that one, then I'll be in business. I think it's this one. Oil-based marker. Oil-based marker. Okay, let's see how thin this little tip is. I have had this pen so long. I was given this pen at the Atlanta Planner Con. This was the first time I ever spoke at a con. And one of the girls who worked at Tombow, she gave this to me. After I was finished speaking, she's just so sweet. She came and talked to me, and she's like, I have this little gift for you. And I've had it ever since. It's like my little precious, my little precious Tombow pen. Okay. And she told me that was its superpower, is that you could write on washi because it is the one that is oil-based. So an oil-based pen, which is what these are, these dual tip ones, the big ones, these are all oil-based. What is the Posca? Mitsubishi. Huh. Doesn't say. It doesn't say on the pen what it is. What it is. Okay. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm writing. What should I say? What would this be? Mark. You think, is that 80s? And also, girls don't say that to each other. Just saying. What did we say when we were younger, before there was Did we say that when we were kids? I don't remember saying that. I'm not that you that's why you were saying that answer. But I am wondering, what did we say when we were kids about your best friend? Because I like now I've heard people say besties and BFFs, but those, I feel like those are more modern terms. What did we say as kids? I don't remember. Mark, please exit the chat. The exit is to the right. Wait, that's the left. The exit is to the right. Okay, one of my favorite expressions, and I have no idea where it came from, was that "Hey girl, hey." I always thought that was adorbs when it came around, so I'm just gonna put that. I got nothing else. My brain is just like on shutdown. It's on shutdown mode. I'm in protest. And Jen says, I use best friend. Yeah, me too. I think we just said best friends, huh? I don't remember us having anything cute or fancy. It was just very utilitarian. It was very simple. Okay. I think I'm calling uncle at 3.5 hours. I have painted one rock. I painted, no, I didn't paint a rock. That's kind of that's being too generous. I wrote on a rock. I glued things to, I wrote on some rocks. I glued some stars to a rock, and I put some stickers on a rock. I slipped some paper into a clear pocket. Thanks for coming to camp, everybody. Oh my goodness. All right, when in doubt, hey girl, hey. These are our honey rocks. Camp reset. Hey girl, hey. Okay, so let's add this. Let's add this to the official, as Miss Kelly suggested, which I think was a good suggestion. This probably wasn't the rock she was imagining, but camp reset 2025. It's in the books. So I am delighted, I say, that I actually finished some rocks this time around. Those are cute. Honey rocks for the win. Yeah. So anyway, these are in the future, along with some other cool stickers that I would like to introduce, that are more for like collaging and stuff, because with this ability to not have the white border and be able to just layer stuff. Oh, so exciting. So exciting. Good night, Mrs. Michelle Spencer. Oh my gosh. How brutal. How rude. How cruel. Making you get on a plane at 6 a.m. Okay, So tomorrow, one more recap. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, if you are in the clubhouse, if you're an explorer in the clubhouse, there is our last tea party. I will be hosting that. And and then on Sunday night, I will be the camp. Sorry, this is not a good time to make mistakes. The camp shall be closed. So if you are in camp, please read the mail that I posted in your mailbox today, because that has all the details about that closure and what is to come next as far as a lifetime access opportunity and a discount on that, a big discount. And also, if you are in the clubhouse and are an explorer, please read the mail that I sent you in your inbox, because that explains that explains things for you too. Everything is coming to an end. Things are ending because a new door is opening. So as I have to close one thing and open another, it just is changing things. So I can't. It means that you have a limited time to access information because things are going to disappear. So it's kind of tricky. Yes, Kelly, thank you so much for showing up and for our last camp themed Late Night Crafty Club. And thank you so much for all of your hard work and contributions to Camp Reset 2025 and making it as awesome as it was. All of your fun ideas and your just really amazing quality videos that just took it to a completely different level. So I was so proud of you, and it was really wonderful to see all of that. So thank you so much, my friend, for all that you did. So, okay. Yeah, I definitely have to. I'm getting second now. I'm just I want to thank all of you for contributing to camp and being part of camp, for showing up for camp, for saying yes to camp. Those of you who were able to do that and wanted to do that, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, because going into it, I can tell, or I can see that maybe you didn't necessarily have there was not a lot of confidence perhaps this time around, and that it was going to be great, because I had postponed things several times. I didn't do a very great job with the marketing of it. So looking back, I can see like, wow, I didn't really give them a lot of confidence that it would be awesome. But I'm just very, very grateful that you are very trusting. That you trust me, and I appreciate so much your graciousness and your loyalty, and that you have supported Camp Reset the way that you did. So I'm very, very grateful, and it was without a doubt, it was the best season of Camp Reset. I can say that. I thought about that today when I was writing that last mail, and I don't want to say things just to say them. So I thought about it, and I thought to myself, of all the different camps, like different experiences that I've had, this was my favorite for, different reasons. Each camp feels like it has its own personality, and there's different things. But this one, I may not have participated in it the way I thought I would, but what it taught me as a creator, as a content builder, as someone, as a world builder, was invaluable. Like I never had that kind of epiphany or experience with the other camps like this one gave me. The realization of like something I can do, something that is unique about me, something like a purpose I have in this world. I know that sounds so grandiose. We're talking about a make-believe camp, but after doing this is my 8th camp, my 9th event. I realize like there is something very uniquely special and something that I can do. And the fact that like watching people in the lodge and the excitement, like there is something extraordinary about that, that there's something that I did that causes this level of joy, and that people can show up for this and create magic in their home, and be excited and go on little adventures and be willing to do the things, like participate in the things that I've built and done, and be excited with each other and want to share these moments. Like that's truly amazing. And I think for the first time I could stand back and look at that and go, I did that, and sometimes that's hard to do, is really give yourself credit for that. Because when I was in the corporate world and I had bosses and managers over me, and for many years I worked for like the CEO or the president, like I was an executive assistant for a very long time. So that was where my appreciation or my approval came from. And so when you have just yourself to be accountable to, it's really hard to see the best of yourself or see things that you're doing well, because all you can often see is what you're not doing well. So this was my first experience of giving myself credit and seeing that, seeing that gift that brings so many people joy. And I thought that was just, that was really remarkable. So even if I didn't get to like do some of the things I thought would be like fun, that was so much more fun than whether I got to sit out and do a picnic in the backyard. That was way more rewarding. So I will not look back on this with regret that I didn't, have this amazing experience, because I had such a more amazing experience in a different way. Such an amazing experience. And I wouldn't have had that had you not shown up. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me that experience, for showing up for me, for giving me your hard-earned money, and for saying yes. So I wish I could have started out camp on the right platform and not having to shift it. So that's why I want to make sure that when I get it shifted over, give you that link, that I price it in a way that's like more in alignment to the way I wish I had been able to start it off. And so that that you're not paying the price for, how I had to do things. So the next time around, camp will be in its more ideal situation. It'll be even more seamless. It'll be even more smoother. But I really appreciate all the feedback that I was given. And it sounds like I finally did it, because you guys have no idea how much I care about that onboarding experience and how like smooth that is. That's probably the number one thing I care about, is how everybody comes in and how well they do at finding what they need to get started. Because that's what I'm obsessed with. It's like, because all I picture is all these excited girls running around. Where's all my printables? I just want to get started. So making that the easiest thing for you to do is like, that is what I'm obsessed with from day one. I care about structure, organization, ease. As much fun as I look like I'm like giving you, it's really about organization. It's about all of that stuff behind the scenes that I mostly care about. So this part is the fun part, but that part is what I care about, believe it or not, the most. So anyway, all that to say, I love you so, so much. And I'm just very grateful, whether you went to camp or not, if you're here just for the Late Night Crafty Club, getting to do this as many years as I've gotten to do it. And I'm just really glad that so many of you have come back and to continue to come back. It's just such a fun time to spend together. And like I said earlier, I will be back next Friday. I'm doing another back-to-back session, so I'll see you again. And we'll be back to our regular schedule. So I will be back here at 5 o'clock next Friday. And we'll be back in our fall cozy season. So thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that you guys all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And if I do not see you tomorrow in the clubhouse, I hope that you pack up your stuff for camp. If you were in camp, pack it all up, get what you need out of the camp lodge, copy, secure things that, you know, digitally, because that will get cut off. And don't worry that I will be reaching out via email to everyone who was in camp with when we get all of that onto its new platform. When it's ready, we will reach out. And if not, if you don't see that, I will be letting people know through my regular newsletter that, hey, we did let all of the campers know. So you'll get a heads up that way. So you'll know that we did reach out. So you will be in the loop that we are attempting to reach out to everybody. So thank you so much for such a wonderful season. This is always the hardest part of saying goodbye to you. And usually we do a Sunday goodbye. So this is the first year I'm doing a Friday night goodbye. But I will see a lot of you tomorrow. But thank you so much. And I'm glad that I'll be seeing you next Friday. So thank you very, very much for spending the last 5 weeks with me and having so much fun together. And we will be doing it next year. Love you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Gather round, it's Friday night. Time for crafts and pure delight. Paper, scissors, let's get started. With vintage tape, we'll be wholehearted. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Glue sticks ready, let's make a plan. Planners in the office, supplies in hand. Honey half-season, whimsy arrows, crafting magic like true heroes. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Doodads and gumballs, let's create a scene. Join the club where we live our dreams. So grab your scissors and come along. Together we'll craft and sing our song. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Slip into jammies, grab something to sip. Stickers and golden scissors, let's take a crafty trip. The playbook's open with listers, got a list. In this crafty paradise, our dreams coexist. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scrapbook cards help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty Show? Hearts and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scrapbook cards help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty Show? It's all for you.